Chapter 804. Su Yin stopped. Now was not the time Wang Longhuang gave him. Is there anything else? You and I both know that although your strength is not bad, you are definitely not Leng Chen's match, Wang Longhuang said. This is the reason why I came to find you. Su Yin. We all have our reasons to deal with Leng Chen. I was lucky enough to escape from his hands once, but it is obviously impossible to rely on luck every time. Since Leng Chen can buy the hearts of your subordinates, then he can threaten your position in Lunan. Both you and I are well aware of this. Everyone in the underground world knows that Miao Dao betrayed you and took away your secret. This is why you did not let Black Tiger Luoxing give up on pursuing those two people. Although those two people are dead, I don't know if Leng Chen knows about your secret or not. You also don't know. I don't want to be so obvious. You definitely want to protect this secret of yours. Only you know how important this secret is to you. Wang Longhuang narrowed his eyes. This was what he was truly afraid of. Miao Dao and Hu Lai betrayed him because they discovered his secret. This matter could not be known to anyone. Once it was known, he knew better than anyone what kind of situation he would fall into. Luoxing's expression was somewhat puzzled. He had always been curious about this matter. What kind of secret did Wang Longhuang have? Although the order he received was to kill the traitors, Luoxing also had his own thoughts. Even if he had the chance to capture those two traitors, he would have definitely made them talk. But now Luoxing felt that he was quite lucky. If he had really killed Miao Dao and Hu Lai, Wang Longhuang might have killed him to prevent future troubles. After all, even if Leng Chen knew his secret, Wang Longhuang still wanted to kill him. Tianzi, perhaps the Netherworld King won't be interested in what those two people know. Luoxing said. We don't need to take the risk and go against the Netherworld King. Wang Longhuang's cold gaze swept across Luoxing. It's better to be safe than sorry. The Netherworld King has many experts under his command. If I were him, I'm afraid I wouldn't want two traitors under my command either. Su Yin smiled faintly. Unless these two people have something that interests me, then it might be different. Wang Longhuang clenched his fists tighter and tighter. Finally he asked, why did Leng Chen attack you? Because he knows a secret that I've been guarding. Su Yin's expression also became serious. When a person's ambition swells to the point of no return, he hopes to take everything that can help him stand at the top of the world. Wang Longhuang's expression changed. You know what I have. What a pity. If I have the chance, I'll definitely ask Miao Dao what secrets he knows about you. Su Yin smiled and changed his tone. I don't know what you have that would interest an ambitious person, and I don't want to get myself into trouble if I find out. So you don't have to worry. If there's anyone else in this world who knows your secret, then it's only Leng Chen. Only him. In other words, as long as he killed Leng Chen, then his secret would never be known by anyone. Even if I work with you, it won't be easy to deal with Leng Chen. Just his subordinates are enough to give me a headache. Wang Longhuang seemed to have the idea of working together. I'm afraid you don't have to worry about that. Su Yin's smile was very mysterious. The Netherworld King doesn't have any brats under him now. He's just a general without an army. Wang Longhuang was slightly shocked. Could it be that even Yang Yi and Huang Yu are already ghosts under your command? In short, it's good that you know they're all dead. Su Yin, Wang Longhuang, if you don't want anyone to threaten your position as the Emperor of Lunan, then give me a straightforward answer. All right. I'll work with you. Wang Longhuang made up his mind. Please reconsider. Luoxing didn't agree with Wang Longhuang's decision. The consequences of going against the Netherworld King were unimaginable. Wang Longhuang ignored Luoxing. I have the final say here. Do you dare disobey? I don't dare. Luoxing lowered his head and didn't say anything else. What do you want me to do? Wang Longhuang said. If we work together to deal with the Netherworld King, I think you should know where he is, right? Su Yin shook his head. It's precisely because I don't know where he is that I came to find you. Because I believe you can tell me where to find Leng Chen. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come to this troublesome bandit city in Lunan to find you to work together. Wang Longhuang smiled helplessly. I'm afraid you've really found the wrong person. How could I know where Leng Chen is? I don't have any friendship with him. You don't even know where he is, and you want to talk to me about working together? I'm afraid you know too little. Although I don't know much, I do know that there are 3 famous doctors in the world. They are all reputed to have the ability to bring the dead back to life, Su-yin said indifferently. The first is the vicious fairy doctor, Wu Qiuzi. The second is the ghost doctor, Peng Juanda. Compared to these two, the third person, the immortal mountain medical sage, is a little special. Not only is she a woman, but she is also proficient in medicine. She is different from Wu Qiuzi, who is proficient in poisons, and Peng Juanda, who prefers unorthodox methods. Her medical skills have reached perfection. At this time, Wang Longhuang's expression had completely changed. The immortal mountain medical sage that Su-yin mentioned was definitely not an outsider to him. Although the two of them had been divorced for more than 10 years, she was still his wife. Although I don't know why you divorced your ex-wife. You don't want Leng Chen to find her before we do, right? Su-yin. I believe that if you go and find her, you'll definitely find her before Leng Chen. What does this have to do with her? Wang Longhuang's voice was a little angry. I don't want her to be involved in this matter. Su-yin nodded in understanding. I don't want her to be involved in this matter either. However, Leng Chen is injured and wants to recover as soon as possible. His ghost doctor, Peng Juanda, has already passed away. I'm afraid he can only ask your ex-wife for help. Wang Longhuang was clearly unwilling to accept this situation. But he could also go and find the vicious fairy doctor. Wu Qiuzi is much more famous in the underground world than the immortal mountain medical sage, right? Su-yin shrugged. If you were Leng Chen, who would you go and find? Someone with the heart of a Buddha, who only knows medicine? Or an old man who once commanded the heavens and earth? Wang Longhuang was speechless. If you still want to get lucky, I can give you another reason. Su-yin. If Leng Chen would go and find Wu Qiuzi, then I wouldn't need to come to you at all. Although Wu Qiuzi and I are decades apart, we are sworn brothers. Chapter 805. Su-yin knew that Wang Longhuang had no way out now. Although he had nothing to do with his ex-wife legally, they were still husband and wife. Although Wang Longhuang was arrogant and extravagant, he wasn't someone who didn't care about feelings. When Su-yin mentioned the immortal mountain medical sage, Wang Longhuang's expression was quite conflicted. I know it's difficult for you to make this decision, but you have to admit that we have a common goal. Su-yin. I'm sure you don't have a good impression of me, and you'll even hate me, thinking that I brought you trouble. I can only apologize for this, because you're the only person I need to work with. Wang Longhuang's expression was uncertain. He knew very well that there was another choice besides this one. When Su-yin mentioned his ex-wife, this idea sprouted in his mind because the other choice might be a win-win situation for him. Black Tiger, maybe you're right. I should really consider this matter more. Wang Longhuang, who had already agreed to work with Su-yin, actually went back on his word. This sudden situation caught Su-yin a little off guard. It was like when they were negotiating a business deal. The other party didn't sign their name at the moment of signing the contract, but instead said, F***CK off. This feeling was really damnable. Luo Xing naturally heaved a sigh of relief when he heard that Wang Longhuang had changed his mind. He would rather fall out with the two people in front of him than go against Hell King Leng Chen. Are you a man or not? Why are you talking like a fart? Little Dongbei was furious. If I knew you were this kind of person, we wouldn't have wasted time with you. No wonder your wife doesn't want to live with you anymore. You're disgusting. I hate people who go back on their words the most. Wang Longhuang glared at him. Little bastard, if you want to live for a few more minutes, you'd better shut your mouth. If you're going to go back on your words, at least tell me why? Su-yin said. If I could give you to Leng Chen, he wouldn't need to seek treatment from my ex-wife, Wang Longhuang said. I see that you're a rare talent among the younger generation, which is why I'm so honest with you. Moreover, I believe that if I send you to Leng Chen, he will definitely not suspect me. As long as I gain his trust and he's injured, I'll have a better chance of dealing with him. Plus, I'll be able to protect my ex-wife. Su-yin nodded. You're right. Unfortunately, I'm not the person Leng Chen wants, so there's no point in giving me to him. No matter what he wants from you, or what he wants to know, you are valuable, Wang Longhuang said. I just chose the method that I thought was the safest. A starving camel is still bigger than a horse. Even though Leng Chun is injured, you might not be able to handle him alone, Su Yin said. You'd better think it through. Luo Xing urged. Tianzi, I don't think we need to listen to them anymore. You don't have the right to speak here. Little Dongbei spat. If you want to spar, we can spar outside. I still remember the kick you gave me at the nightclub. I thought that since we're allies, I wouldn't hold a grudge against you, but looking at you, I'm going to return that kick. Su Yin raised his hand to signal little Dongbei not to be impulsive. He took out the thing that Yi Fala gave him before leaving Xinjiang, and handed it to Wang Longhuang. Originally, I didn't want to involve too many people, but seeing you like this, I can only ask an old friend for help. Wang Longhuang received the thing that Su Yin handed over and was shocked. Yi Fala. She's already out, but it's not convenient for her to leave Xinjiang yet. Su Yin smiled. She said that you're all old friends, so you'll give her some face. I wonder if you still don't care about your old friend's face? Old friend. Wang Longhuang laughed. She said that to you? If we're old friends, I really wouldn't give her this face. Did you help her get out of prison? Su Yin nodded. I just did what I should. Then your relationship with her is? Wang Longhuang narrowed his eyes. Friends? Yes. Su Yin nodded. So you're giving her this face? Luo Xing frowned. Tianzi, no matter who your friend is, this isn't a small matter. Indeed, it's not a small matter. I can't give any face to my friend. I can't refuse my sister-in-law's face. Wang Longhuang let out a long sigh. You have a good network. I take back what I said just now. I'll cooperate with you to deal with Leng Chun. But you have to promise me that you won't let my ex-wife get hurt. Otherwise, I won't forgive you. Su Yun and little Dongbei's jaws almost dropped to the ground, especially Su Yun. He never thought that Yi Fala actually had an older sister, and this Wang Longhuang was actually her brother-in-law. Oh my God! Su Yun slapped his thigh. This meant that the Immortal Mountain's medical sage Yi Lan was her sister. Luo Xing was completely speechless now. A sister-in-law suddenly popped out of nowhere. Wasn't this too illogical? Everyone knew that after Wang Longhuang and Yi Lan got married, he was very obedient to her. Especially after they got married, Yi Lan used all sorts of methods to find her younger sister who was separated from her when she was young. Wang Longhuang also doted on his sister-in-law, treating her like she was his own biological sister. However, in the 10 years after his divorce, he didn't have any contact with his sister-in-law. Wang Longhuang always felt guilty towards his ex-wife, because their divorce was completely because of him. This matter was the biggest pain in his life. No one knew why they separated. Only they knew. After they separated, Wang Longhuang's strength started to increase rapidly, and he shocked the whole of Lunan. However, it was also after that Wang Longhuang's temperament underwent a great change. As for why, no one knew. You're not joking? Su Yin finally walked out of his shock. Wang Longhuang nodded. Do you think I would mistake the things I gave you? This ring with the phoenix I was specially made by a jewelry master in France. There are 2 rings in total, and I gave them to Yi Lan and her sister. Because Yi Lan really loved her sister who was separated from her when she was young, I also took good care of Yi Fala, even though I know that she's not doing any worse than me in Xinjiang. Su Yin smiled helplessly. If she said this earlier, I wouldn't have wasted so much time. Wang Longhuang looked seriously at Su Yin. If you were just friends with her, she wouldn't have given you such a valuable thing. If I'm not wrong, are you going to be my future brother-in-law? Su Yin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I think we should talk about business? At 3 p.m. sharp, it was time for Wang Longhuang to eat. This time, his invitation was much more sincere than before. Let's go and try the old wine that I've kept in the cellar for decades. At the same time, comment on my chef and see if he's worthy of the super chef title. Chapter 806. Although Su Yin and Wang Longhuang had reached a common goal and formed an alliance, there was one thing that Su Yin still needed to be on guard against. Wang Longhuang cared far more about his secrets than Su Yin imagined. After leaving the famous Son of Heaven's temporary imperial residence in southern Lu, Su-yin could only wait. He believed that Wang Longhuang could convince Yilan. When Su-yin and little Dongbei returned to the hotel, they actually met an acquaintance at the front desk. Empire Nightclub's room 185. Lanxing. What a coincidence. Lanxing was pulling her suitcase. She was dressed conservatively and looked like she was about to go on a long trip. Lanxing also saw Su-yin and little Dongbei. This kind of meeting was quite awkward, but she still smiled and greeted them. What was even more coincidental was that her room was right next to Su-yin and little Dongbei's. Thank you, Lanxing said lightly. After you left, I thought a lot. This industry will really sink deeper and deeper. In the beginning, I was just a hostess. Later on, it got out of hand. In order to get a higher tip, I'm not just a hostess anymore. Hugging customers has become a common occurrence. If this continues, I believe that I won't be far from the day I'll be fired. Su-yin smiled faintly. Your decision is correct. If you want to leave, then leave Lunan. Although I don't know what kind of temperament and temper Wang Longhuang has, but if we go against his wishes, he will still be very angry. Although I know that I shouldn't speak ill of your customer behind his back, I still have to tell you. Lanxing smiled bitterly. Him? He's just a useless person in bed. Men who don't have that kind of ability will always be more perverted than normal people. However, I still prefer to serve him because what he likes the most is nothing more than for me to dance for him. It's just twisting and turning, it's not difficult. Moreover, he's also very generous. Su-yin was dumbfounded. Wang Longhuang was actually a man with erectile dysfunction? This piece of news was really explosive. For a moment, Su-yin seemed to have understood the relationship. Today, in his chat with Wang Longhuang, he could see that he cared a lot about the Immortal Mountain's medical sage Yilan. Even so, the two parted ways. Could it be because of Wang Longhuang's problem? That might not be the case. Su-yin thought. Could it be that this was the secret that Wang Longhuang was afraid of being leaked? If he wanted to understand this matter, he might have to ask Yi Fala. He's not good in that aspect. Little Dongbei's face was full of disbelief. Isn't this looking for trouble? Lanxing also shook his head in confusion. I'm not sure if he's looking for trouble. The only thing I'm sure of is that he's definitely not a normal man. Su-yin smiled. Thank you for telling us all this. Said. You're a good person. Used tattoos. Although I don't know why you want to meet him, I still want to remind you that I hope you don't do this. I feel that you're completely different from him. Just like how you advised me to leave this industry and leave Lunan, I also advise you to stop doing what you're doing and leave Lunan. I'm taking the 10 a.m. train tomorrow. Little Dongbei smiled bitterly. I'm afraid it's a bit late. We've already met with Wang Longhuang. Su-yin didn't want to say too much. We'll consider your suggestion. I wish you a safe journey. Good night. I wish you all the same. Lanxing smiled and walked into her room. After Su-yin and little Dongbei returned to their room, little Dongbei poured 2 cups of water and handed one to Su-yin. Brother Yin, you said that Wang Longhuang has a secret that he doesn't want others to know. Is it because he has erectile dysfunction? Is he afraid of being laughed at? Su-yin smiled. Maybe, but I still think it's not that simple. If it was that simple, Wang Longhuang wouldn't have taken the risk of going against Leng Chen. I think there are some things that I need to confirm. Little Dongbei drank the entire cup of water in one gulp, turned on the TV and sat on the bed. Su-yin walked to the window and dialed Yi Fala's number. She was probably the only person who could solve this mystery. I'm in a good mood to receive your call. Yi Fala's opening was very direct. She understood Su-yin. Since he called her, he definitely had something to ask. How is it? Is everything going well? What can I do for you? Su-yin also relaxed a lot. No wonder you were so confident that Wang Longhuang would give you face. It turns out that he's your brother-in-law. What surprised me even more is that the Immortal Mountain's medical sage is actually your sister. Don't say that. Yi Fala said, that's all in the past. To me, my ex-brother-in-law is at most an old friend. It seems that he still gives me face. That's true. Su-yin. I originally thought that I could handle him, but in the end he still refused to cooperate. Fortunately, I have you. Otherwise, I'm afraid that Wang Longhuang and I would have already fallen out. Yi Fala just smiled and said, So, your cooperation should be quite pleasant, right? And it's quite smooth. Su Yun. But I have some questions to ask you now. Tell me everything you know. Yi Fala said indifferently. Why did Wang Longhuang and your sister Yi Lan divorce? Su Yun asked directly. If you know. Yi Fala was silent for a while, then slowly said. That's between them at that time. And I think this should be considered a private matter, right? It might not be of any help to you. Su Yun realized that Yi Fala seemed to know some secrets. You said that you'll tell me everything you know. Hee, your memory is really good, Yi Fala said. But this matter is indeed a private matter. Is it because Wang Longhuang is not good in that aspect? Su Yun. So, Yi Fala smiled bitterly. Don't you think that it's very embarrassing to talk to a girl about her ex-brother-in-law's matters? Let's change the topic. I know this topic is indeed very embarrassing, but it's very important to me. Su Yun. Wang Longhuang agreed to cooperate with me not just because of your face. He suspects that his secret is known by Leng Qin. If his secret is just that he is not good in that aspect, I think it's not enough for him to stand up and challenge Leng Qin. So you think that there are other reasons? Yi Fala said. Chapter 807. Yi Fala was shocked for a long time and only reacted after a long time. You've only been in Lunan for 2 days. Where did you hear all this? Even if he has that kind of problem. How did you find out about such a private matter? Su Yun sighed. When I came to Lunan, I found out that Wang Longhuang would go to the same nightclub every week to look for the same girl. So I went to look for that girl. I found out about all this from that girl's mouth. I thought that she didn't need to make up such a lie to fool me. So, I wanted to confirm it with you. You really know how to find people. Yi Fala didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Fine, your intuition is good. I didn't mean to hide it, I just felt that this topic was too awkward. When Wang Longhuang divorced my sister Yi Lan, it was indeed because of that kind of problem. Yi Fala paused for a moment, but Su Yun didn't interrupt. He knew that Yi Fala still had things to say, and the matter wouldn't be so simple. His problem wasn't innate. In the beginning, he didn't have this kind of problem. Yi Fala said. These are all things that happen later. That's all I know. After all, my sister wouldn't talk to me too much about that kind of problem between them. Su Yun. I heard that Wang Longhuang's strength was very ordinary before. His strength really increased by leaps and bounds after he divorced Yi Lan. It was also after that he became the true son of Lunan, and no one in Lunan dared to provoke him. Is there a reason for this? I really don't know about this, Yi Fala said. Even what I know is scattered from my sister's mouth. A few hundred years ago, there was a legend in Lunan. Su Yun. I think that you should have heard of it before. It's a strange book about cultivation called the Evil Warding Treasure Manual. Yi Fala was startled for a moment, and only after a long time did he open his mouth. I know what you're suspecting, because I also suspected it before. But that's just a legend. Regarding that book, no one has seen it before. Although it is said that many years ago, there were hundreds of experts who fought over that book and died in southern Lu. But now there is no one who can verify whether those rumors are true or false. Su Yun shook his head. I have always believed that there is no such thing as a groundless rumor. I've even seen even more incredible legends come true. The legend Su Yun was talking about was Guogua's secret. You suspect that Wang Longhuang became like this because he practiced the evil warding scripture? Yi Fala took a deep breath. To be honest, I find it hard to accept this possibility. But I can't help but be suspicious. Su Yun said, the Evil Warding Manual can improve a cultivator's mental strength by leaps and bounds. Even a novice can become a super expert. If the cultivator himself was a super expert, it would help him break through to the master realm. If one's foundation was already at the Grandmaster realm or the Earth Profound realm, then it was even more likely to help them reach the Sky Profound realm. But the price for all of this was built on one thing, castration. Yi Fala was silent. No matter what, Wang Longhuang's situation was really suspicious. Everyone knew that Wang Longhuang was an ordinary second-stage super expert at the very beginning. Many people said that he was lucky to win the heart of the Immortal Mountain's medical sage. After that, in a short span of a year, Wang Longhuang became an expert above the 5th stage of the Grandmaster realm. This kind of cultivation speed was simply outrageous. And after that, he parted ways with his wife. It was also at that time that Yi Fala found out from Yi Lan that Wang Longhuang was incapable in that aspect. Of course, she had no way to verify this matter herself. She could only have a suspicious attitude. When all of this was brought up by Su Yun again, Yi Fala also started to have doubts. Perhaps what Su Yun said was true. The legend about the evil warding manual was also true. Maybe you're right. Yi Fala said. This matter is really too coincidental. It's so coincidental that we can't help but have doubts. I really don't dare to believe that he would actually give up his foundation as a man in order to increase his strength. It's too scary. Su Yun expressed his understanding. When a man is criticized by everyone for not being worthy of his wife, the result of his self-esteem being hurt is that he will do anything to change the situation. It seems that my guess was right. Wang Longhuang practiced the evil warding manual. That thing. Phew, it sounds really scary. You came to me to tell me this just to confirm your guess, Yi Fala said. What does this have to do with your cooperation against Lung Chen? Su Yun nodded. It has a lot to do with it. Because this is the secret that Wang Longhuang really wants to protect. In this world, not only Lung Chen, if any expert knew that the evil warding manual really existed, they would probably want to take it for themselves. Even if this manual would cause a man to be unable to be a real man, there would still be countless people who would go crazy for it. Wang Longhuang wanted to protect this secret because he was afraid that the massacre of Lunan hundreds of years ago would happen again. In order to not let people suspect that he practiced the evil warding manual, he didn't even hesitate to endure humiliation and go to the nightclub every week to find women. In this way, in the eyes of outsiders, he was still a real man who wasn't any less powerful than before. But in reality, only he himself knew what he was like. This could also explain why Miao Dao and Hu Lai betrayed him. Although he didn't know how the two of them found out about Wang Longhuang's secret, Wang Longhuang definitely wouldn't allow people who knew his secret to live in this world. When Lung Chen recruited Miao Dao and Hu Lai, it was obvious that they could bring him what he wanted. It was also 100% certain that Lung Chen knew this secret. From the looks of it, Lung Chen's ambition was even greater than Su Yun imagined. Lung Chen knew about Guoguo's secret. In order to let his mental state break through to the Sky Profound Realm as soon as possible, and then use the capital of the Sky Profound Realm to practice the evil warding manual, he could possibly break through to the terrifying strength of the incomparable realm. At that time, who would be his opponent in this world? That kind of unparalleled realm, perhaps, was what Lung Chen was truly pursuing. Su Yun, some things the more you know the more dangerous it is. This logic is very simple. Yi Fala said. I won't chat with you anymore. You must be careful. Su Yun nodded. Don't worry, I will take good care of myself. I'll leave my brothers in Xinjiang to you. You have a good eye for people. Those guys are all very capable. And they are also very good people. Yi Fala said. Don't worry. Also, Lin Suyin is doing well. I know you will definitely ask, so I'll report to you first. Thank you. Su Yun didn't know how to express the gratitude in his heart. Chapter 808. As soon as Su Yun hung up the phone, little Dongbei came up to him and said with a sigh, Brother Yun, I heard you say something about the evil warding manual? Is there really such a thing? You've heard of it. Su Yun was stunned. Little Dongbei was a mountain child from the old forest. Before he followed him, he had not participated in any disputes in the underground world. He probably did not go online before coming to Xinjiang. He did not even know what the iPhone 9S was. How could he have heard of the evil warding manual? Little Dongbei nodded seriously. I've heard of it. Su Yun was shocked. Where did you hear of it? You're not joking with me, right? I'm talking about the evil warding manual, not the evil warding sword manual from the ancient movies. Did you mix up the relationship between the things in the martial arts novels and the things I'm talking about? Are you sure? Little Dongbei still nodded. Brother Yin, I'm really sure about this. When I was in the old forest, the things I heard every day were that my father went somewhere to slaughter pigs and goats and encountered some new or strange things. These so-called new or strange things were nothing more than animals that were killed for a long time without dying or found out that they had cubs after they were killed. To me, these things are not new at all. The work of a butcher is really unvirtuous. Suyin felt that it was cruel. As the rulers of this planet, humans were indeed ruthless. Are you saying that your father heard someone mention it when he was slaughtering pigs? No, it was the old man who told me. Little Dongbei said, the old man I mentioned to you before, the one who taught me how to kill wild boars in exchange for the pig head meat. I've heard him mention the evil warding scripture you mentioned before. Really, I remember it very clearly because the old man drank too much that day. Suyin frowned. If that otherworldly expert had mentioned it, he would definitely believe it. What did he say? He gave me a few pieces of advice. He told me not to touch women before the age of 20, because lust is dangerous. Young people are hot-blooded, and thinking about women too early will damage their young energy. Don't chase after fame and fortune before the age of 30. Because you haven't lived long enough, fame and fortune can easily confuse your eyes. Little Northeast clearly remembered what the old man had told him. Before the age of 40, you can't touch the evil warding book, because once you do, you will disgrace your ancestors. Even after you die, you won't be forgiven by your ancestors. After saying that, Little Northeast sighed and nodded. Yes, that's what he said back then. I could still understand the 20 and 30-year-old books, but when he mentioned the 40-year-old book, I really couldn't figure it out. Looking at it now, I think I understand. It turns out that once you touch the evil warding manual, you aren't a normal man. No wonder he said that before the age of 40, you can't touch it. If you touch it, you won't have any descendants. If you don't have children after the age of 40, you can't touch it either. Suyin was more and more curious about that expert. He was so powerful and knew so many things. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't find a match. Little Northeast, don't tell anyone that you learned how to kill wild boars in the mountains in the future. Suyin, no matter who that expert was, since he chose to hide in the mountains like that, he must have his reasons. If Little Northeast's words were heard by someone with ulterior motives, it might be some kind of disaster. Little Northeast nodded vigorously. I know, Brother Yin. Then I won't talk about the evil warding manual anymore. Suyin smiled slightly. It seems that the secret that Wang Longhuang has always wanted to keep is that the evil warding manual is in his hands. Although we can't be sure if Miao Dao and the others told this secret to Leng Chun, if Leng Chun knew, he definitely wouldn't miss the opportunity to find this cultivation state book. Would he also castrate himself? Little Northeast said. In order to improve his strength, he doesn't even want to be a man? This is too crazy, isn't it? Even if I can become the most powerful person in the world by practicing that book, I won't do that. If I'm not even a man, what's the use of being powerful? Suyin took a deep breath. Don't be too confident in yourself. Since it's a cultivation state book from the underground world, it means that it has its magic. Because you haven't seen the book, that's why you said that. Maybe after reading that book and reading the content, you won't be able to castrate yourself anymore. Once your cultivation state falls into a state of madness, no matter how terrifying it is, I believe that there will be people who will do it. Little Northeast still didn't quite believe it. In any case, I won't do that. I haven't married yet. Suyin believed Little Dongbei's words. It wasn't because he hadn't married yet, but because Little Dongbei didn't understand what cultivation was all about. If that was the case, then even if he read the warding evil manual, he wouldn't be affected. I believe you won't do that. But if you get that book, I still suggest that you don't sneak a look at it just because you think you won't do it. Suyin. Many people who are fated to get that book just want to take a look at it by chance. In the end, they all cut off their manhood and directly became living eunuchs. Little Northeast's back was covered in cold sweat. Brother Yin, don't scare me. I won't look at it, okay? Speaking of which, even if I want to look at it, I don't know where it is. If I'm not wrong, It should be in Wang Longhuang's hands. Su Yin. Maybe that thing is also a temptation for Lung Chen. Little Northeast swallowed his saliva. Wang Longhuang wouldn't trick us, right? He's already a living eunuch. Who knows if he's mentally abnormal? What if he's just pretending to give face to Yi Fala on the surface, but is trying to trip us up behind our backs? That's not impossible. People who are mentally perverted are capable of doing anything. Whether he's mentally perverted or not, go next door and ask Lan Xing. She probably knows better than us. Su Yin. I feel that although Wang Longhuang is under a lot of psychological pressure, he's not a pervert. If he's a pervert, I think Lan Xing would have already mentioned it to us. Generally speaking, perverted people like to torture and destroy girls because of that. Little Northeast shook his head worriedly. Let's not guess. I'll go and ask Lan Xing personally to determine whether Wang Longhuang is mentally perverted or not. Otherwise, I won't feel at ease working with such a person. If his illness flares up one day, I might not be able to protect my chrysanthemum. Su Yin shook his head helplessly. And go and confirm it. I'll rest for a while. But you have to remember the words of the old man in the forest. Before the age of 20, you can't touch women. Lust is a knife. Don't let women suck away your young energy. I, Little Northeast, am not that kind of person. Little Northeast said righteously. I'm just going to talk about Wang Longhuang. I don't have any other thoughts. Chapter 809. Before Wang Longhuang could convince Lin Lan to tell him where she was, Su Yun and Little Dongbei could only wait quietly. Little Dongbei didn't understand why he didn't let Yi Fala contact his sister. It seemed more convenient than letting Wang Longhuang find her. However, Su Yun thought that since Yi Fala never mentioned her sister, there might be some unhappiness between the two. Moreover, Yi Fala was still serving her sentence outside the prison. If she left Xinjiang without permission, she would definitely be arrested again. However, the most important thing was that Su Yun needed someone above the 5th stage of the Grandmaster realm to cooperate with him. That way, the possibility of killing Lung Chen would be higher. When he met Wang Longhuang again, it was still at his luxurious villa. It was still 3 o'clock, and they ate healthy food with almost no oil, salt, sauce, or vinegar. Although it was all sea cucumber and shark fin, which were not cheap, Little Dongbei would rather eat a hamburger that cost 10 yuan than eat such tasteless food. We didn't come here to eat. After Su Yun sat down, he hoped that Wang Longhuang could get straight to the point. How's the progress now? Wang Longhuang shook his head. Not good. I said that I wanted to see her, but she rejected me directly. She said that she didn't want anyone to disturb her life, including me. Didn't you tell her that she might be in danger now? Su Yun asked. Even so, she's still so stubborn. Wang Longhuang sighed. Yes. She still insists on her own choice. She wants me to walk out of her life forever and never contact her again. There are a lot of things between us that you can't understand. I expected that she didn't want to see me. If you want to know where she is, it might be easier to let Yi Fala help you. I don't want to drag Yi Fala into this. She still has some problems to deal with. Su Yin. If you think it's possible, contact Yi Lan again. We can find someone who knows how to help trace the source of the call. Wang Longhuang smiled. If I knew her phone number, I would have done that long ago. Then how did you contact her? Su Yin was stunned. Email. Wang Longhuang replied. This is the only way I can get in touch with her. In the past 2 days, I sent her no less than 100 emails. She couldn't help but reply with one sentence. It was just that one sentence. She didn't want anyone to disturb her life. I don't even know if she'll blacklist me because of my email harassment. Su Yin frowned. This is really difficult to solve. If you don't mind, can you tell me her email address? I think there might be someone who can find her using this method. Wang Longhuang looked at Su Yin suspiciously. Are you kidding me? Do I look like someone who likes to joke around? Su Yin said. I want this matter to be resolved as soon as possible more than anyone else. Believe me, if Lung Chen had found Yi Lan before we did, we would have been the ones defeated. Wang Longhuang shook his head. You can only be the one defeated. It has nothing to do with me. At least, I can't be sure if Lung Chun got any information about me from Miao Dao. Su-yin, don't blame me. Even if I work with you now, if I can be sure that Lung Chun doesn't know anything one day, I won't hesitate to break off our alliance. Little Dongbei really wanted to scold him for being too disloyal. After thinking about it, he realized that Lung Chun wasn't his brother. There was indeed no need to be loyal, so he was filled with anger. I understand. Su-yin smiled faintly. It seemed like Wang Longhuang still lacked excitement. I'm also not sure how much Lung Chun knows about your secret. It's just that once, I accidentally overheard Miao Dao talking to Lung Chun about you having some sort of grimoire. Miao Dao said that? Wang Longhuang's reaction was very big. It was as if his most sensitive nerve had been pulled. Su-yin smiled. I don't know the details, but Lung Chun seems to be quite interested. Damn it. Wang Longhuang's fist slammed on the table angrily. It was as if there was a burning flame in his heart. Even if Miao Dao was dead, if he could find his corpse, he would definitely tear him into pieces. Su-yin didn't have the chance to eavesdrop on the conversation between Miao Dao and Lung Chun. It was all a story he made up. Firstly, he could confirm that Wang Longhuang's secret was definitely related to the evil warding treasure book. Secondly, he could make Wang Longhuang steal his heart to cooperate with him. Wang Longhuang, I'm not interested in your secret at all. I just want to do my own thing. Su-yin, if Lung Chun finds Yilan before us and his injuries are healed, even if the two of us work together, I'm afraid we won't be his match. Finding Yilan before Lung Chun is our only chance to get the upper hand. I don't need to emphasize this point again, right? Wang Longhuang stared at Su-yin for a long time before finally speaking. Are you so sure that you can find her exact location with just an email? Uh-huh. Su-yin nodded. I'm sure. As they spoke, Su-yin had already dialed Kevin Matthews' number. This guy said that he was coming to Huaxia soon, but they hadn't contacted each other since. Su-yin also called to ask about him. I didn't expect you to call me. Kevin Matthew looked very surprised. Matthew, how have you been recently? When are you coming to Huaxia? Su-yin asked. Kevin Matthew didn't know whether to laugh or cry as he shook his head. It's been a bit troublesome recently. I found a lot of information about me on the European Union's Secret Service website. I'm afraid I'll need the protection of the American Secret Service soon. My trip to Huaxia will probably be delayed for a while. Su-yin smiled. Looks like it's not easy to be a genius. If there's anything I can help with, Kevin Matthews said with a smile. Don't hesitate to ask. As long as I can help you, I'll do my best to help you. Su-yin said embarrassedly. I do need your help with something. If I give you an email address, can you find out the specific email address from which the email is sent? I can't say for sure, but I can narrow down the range of people you're looking for to a range you can accept. Kevin Matthew was very certain about this kind of thing. For example, a certain building in a certain city. That's enough. Su-yin smiled. I'll text you the email address. After hanging up the phone, Su-yin looked at Wang Longhuang. Email address. At this point, Wang Longhuang had no other choice. After finding the address, I need you to gather all the fighting forces around you. I'll also gather all the fighting forces around me. If Lung Chun really goes to find trouble with Yilan, it'll be a fierce battle. I need to be confident that I can win. Chapter 8-10. 2 days later, in the evening, Su-yin and the others were already in front of a nunnery on Jiufeng Mountain in the suburb of Jinyang City in Nanhu Province. It had to be said that when Kevin Matthew told Su-yin the address he found, Su-yin was very surprised. A nunnery? It sounded so inconceivable. But after Wang Longhuang learned the address, he was very sure. He said that before Yilan divorced him, she had already shown her desire to become a nun, and had always been a devout Buddhist believer. Therefore, after the divorce, she would choose a nunnery to spend the rest of her life. It was definitely her first choice. Nowadays, social progress was really not to be underestimated. In the past, no one dared to believe that temples and nunneries could have internet access. But now it was different. Monks and nuns would use computers to browse Buddhist websites instead of sitting in front of Buddha all day and chanting scriptures and knocking on wooden fish. This time, Wang Longhuang brought Black Tiger Luoxing and Devil Hand Jean brocade with him. They were two 9th-level supermasters. Wang Longhuang was famous in the underground world of Huaxia not only because of his strength at the 5th level of the Supreme Power Realm, but also because of the two masters under him. There were not many people who could win over two 9th-level supermasters. Even Leng Chen could not do this. And Su Yin did not only have little Dong Bei by his side. The war was coming, and Su Yin needed experienced helpers. Obviously, little Dong Bei did not meet the requirements. Because of the stakes of the matter, Su Yin finally asked Lin Ge to come. He was the person he trusted the most. The other person was Chou Yun, who wanted to end this matter the most. I think you should talk to Yilan. Su Yin said. None of us want to bring trouble to her. You are the only one who can explain it. This is also for her safety. With Leng Chen's ability, it won't take long to find her here. We are in a hurry. Wang Longhuang nodded. Maybe I need some time. You can go back to the hotel and wait for me. With Black Tiger and Devil Hand at the entrance of the monastery, we should be able to deal with most of the sudden situations. I have nothing to do when I go back, so I'll stay here with them. Lin Ge shrugged. Su Yin had been paying attention to Chou Yun. Ever since she came here, she seemed to have something heavy on her mind. Then let's go for a walk. Okay. Chou Yun did not object. After the two got into the car, Su Yin asked directly, Is there something on your mind? Chou Yun shook her head, then nodded and said slowly, This is my grandma's hometown. I came here twice when I was very young. Later on, you also know that after I was brought to that place, I never came back here. Su Yin suddenly realized that Chou Yun's worries were because this place contained her few childhood memories. Do you still remember where you went to play when you were young? I don't remember. I only remember that Grandma relied on selling potato soup to make a living. The potato soup that Grandma made was very delicious. Chou Yun smiled. Back then it was not like now. There were so many delicacies. To me, potato soup was the most delicious thing in the world. I even fantasized that if I could eat potato soup every day, I would be the happiest person in the world. Su Yin could not help but smile. That sounds good. I wonder if there are still places that sell it. After hearing what you said, I can't wait to try it. Chou Yun shook her head. There should be. After all, potato soup has always been a famous snack here. I still remember the place where Grandma sold potato soup. Where? Su Yin started the car as he spoke. There is a pedestrian street in the city. Because it is an ancient building, it is a protected pedestrian street. Chou Yun said. There are a lot of people shopping there, whether they are locals or foreigners. At that time, Grandma set up a stall to sell potato soup on the pedestrian street. The nunnery was only 30 kilometers away from the city. If they drove fast, they could reach it in half an hour. After Wang Longhuang met Yilan, he would probably have a lot to say in a short time. There was enough time for them to eat potato soup. Obviously, the memories of his childhood had faded a lot. Moreover, the changes in the city were indeed earth-shattering. Under Chou Yun's guidance, Su Yin lost track of the road several times before he finally found the pedestrian street. Since it was a pedestrian street, of course, they would not let people drive in. After the two stopped the car in a nearby parking lot, they walked into the pedestrian street. The reason why this place was protected and not demolished was definitely because of these ancient buildings. Su Yin was quite interested in these ancient buildings. This was also his original intention when he chose to go to Hudong. But what Su Yin didn't expect was that his decision to go to Hudong had ruined his original plan of taking a vacation. Although he left the Dragon Fury team, and left those dangerous and secret special operations, Su Yin still did not have the leisure to live an ordinary life. The disputes he was involved in the underground world seemed to be even crazier than when he was in the Dragon Fury team. At least at that time, if it was to deal with a profound world realm expert like Leng Chen, it would not be the turn of Wang Yi and his group of rookies. Life would never be as tranquil as Su Yin imagined. She wanted to stay away from disputes and live her life peacefully. This kind of life might only exist in Su Yun's imagination for the rest of her life. The heavens destined him to have an extraordinary life, and Su Yin had already accepted the arrangement of fate. The moment he helped Ruan Qingshuang solve the problem. It was destined that his life after he went to Hudong would undergo earth-shattering changes. And Guoguo was more like a catalyst for his battle. The more powerful the opponent was, the more Su Yin could not stop. Perhaps after he completely solved Leng Chen's problem, all these disputes would come to an end? Unknowingly, Su Yin had already followed Chou Yun to the middle of the pedestrian street. The evening sky was getting darker and darker, and the pedestrian street was getting more and more crowded. The people of this city seemed to be used to walking around in the evening and eating some snacks on the pedestrian street to kill the day's physical and mental exhaustion. Finally, Chou Yun saw a small stall not too far away. The words potato soup on the cloth looked particularly familiar. What surprised Su Yun and Chou Yun was that the person selling potato soup here was actually a young man. He looked to be in his 20s, with regular facial features and a spirited person. It was hard to imagine that there would still be a young person doing this. Most people would not do this kind of street stall business because of their face. They would rather go to the office and do some respectable work that did not earn much. Chapter 8:11. This young man seemed to be very talkative. In contrast, Chou Yun didn't say much. She took out 10 yuan and handed it to the young man selling the potato soup, 2 portions. Su Yin was much more cheerful than Chou Yun. It smells very good. It seems that your ancestral secret recipe is not bad. Of course. Who on this pedestrian street doesn't know about my, Li Moran's, potato soup? While the young man started to make the potato soup, he boasted. It's not that I'm bragging, but in the surrounding villages, there's no one who can make the potato soup purer than me. Look at the ingredients. They're all real materials. Unlike them, they're all made with bagged materials filled with additives. Li Moran. Su Yin was startled for a moment, then joked. Your ancestor wouldn't be Li Macho, right? Even Xiao Longnu wouldn't be able to make something like this, let alone Li Macho. Li Moran filled a portion of the potato soup and handed it to Chou Yun, then began to prepare a second portion. Seeing that Su Yin was talkative, he also became talkative. Today, seeing that the two of you are fated with me, I'll give you a larger portion. I guarantee that you will eat to your heart's content. After Chou Yun took the potato soup, she was deeply moved. She seemed to think of her few childhood memories. This feeling of melting in the mouth was the same as when she ate her grandmother's potato soup when she was a child. That's the taste. It was authentic potato soup. How is it? Not bad, right? Li Moran handed over Su Yun's portion and said to Chou Yun, it doesn't matter. Just eat in big mouthfuls. If you have any suggestions, you can tell me. Once the suggestion is accepted, I'll give you another portion for free. Ha ha ha, the customer is God, and the customer's satisfaction is my motivation. Su Yin also tasted the hot potato soup. Aha, this taste is really good. The texture is soft, fragrant, and delicious. To be able to make potatoes to this extent, your foundation is really not ordinary. Your ancestor couldn't have been a royal chef in the palace, right? Ayo. Brother, you're too good with words. I'm so proud of you. Li Moran was definitely an optimist. Based on your affirmation, I will give you another one for free. Seeing that Chou Yun was eating seriously, Su Yin didn't disturb her. Instead, he chatted with Li Moran. You look young. You must have just started your business, right? There aren't many young people who can endure hardships nowadays. Their spirit is commendable. What kind of entrepreneurship is this? We're just trying to make a living. Li Moran laughed. Nowadays, people like us who don't have connections can't make a name for ourselves if we don't do some small business. It's good to do this. No matter how successful a person is, it's not easy to start a business, Su Yin said. Li Moran said. At first, I didn't think of starting my own business. I also wanted to be like most young people. Even if I couldn't pass the civil service exam, I would still have a career. Although I couldn't make a lot of money, I wouldn't be exposed to the wind or rain for the rest of my life. I would be stable and wouldn't have to worry about food and drink for the rest of my life. If I had a good policy, I would probably be able to buy a house at a cheaper price, then marry a wife with a better family background and have children. After a pause, Li Moran continued. But a lot of things aren't so fair now. Take this exam for example. We worked hard to get into the interview, but we can't beat the people who also got into the interview with strong connections. I died in the interview for 2 years in a row. Look at the candidates in the interview. They all call the leaders in the interview uncle. What about us? We don't know anyone. Strong ability will shine sooner or later, Suyin said. Not all those who pass the civil service exam have a background, right? That's true. But anyone who can find some connections through the relatives of the 7 ants and 8 ants will squeeze their heads to send gifts. Li Moran waved his hand. I understand this matter, so I don't want to take the exam. Anyway, the new policy has come down. Those who are established will change to a contract system that signs a contract every few years. There are also tests and so on. It can't be considered an iron rice bowl. Suyin shrugged his shoulders. That's just a formality. I think you are very optimistic. Don't take the formality so seriously. For those who have connections, it is indeed a formality. What about those who have nothing to do with it? Li Moran shrugged his shoulders. I don't know if I will become someone's scapegoat. If that's the case, I would rather dream of being a potato tycoon than mix in the deep and unpredictable officialdom. Being a potato tycoon is also not bad. Suyin grinned. Cho Yen had finished eating the potato soup. She didn't know if it was because she was hungry or because she missed her childhood memories too much. Her expression showed that she wanted to have another one. Beauty, this one is on me. Li Moran had been on this pedestrian street for more than a year. He had the ability to read people's minds. Cho Yen finally smiled at this unfamiliar young man. Thank you. Don't mention it. I have a good chat with this brother. We will be friends in the future. If you want to eat potatoes, you can come to me at any time. We can still afford this. Li Moran grinned. Suyin felt that it was not easy for people to run a small business. He was ready to pay, but when his hand reached into his pocket, he felt a biting cold murderous aura behind him. Suyin was not the only one who felt this murderous aura. Cho Yun also quickly turned around and glared. What made Suyin and Cho Yun unable to believe was that the person standing less than 10 meters behind them was actually Lung Chun. Lung Chun was obviously very surprised that he would meet Suyin here. He had spent a lot of effort to find information about the Immortal Mountain's medical sage, Yilan, and traveled thousands of miles to come here. But before he could find the medical sage, he had already met his enemy. Suyun's calculations were not wrong. The reason Lung Chen appeared here was obviously to find Yilan, who had superb medical skills, to treat his injuries. Otherwise, he would not have appeared in this small city. Although he was injured, after so many days, an Earth-profound realm expert's recuperation was enough for him to face Suyin and Cho Yun. Even if the two of them worked together, there was absolutely no hope of victory. Lung Chen, who was filled with hatred, looked around. When he confirmed that there were only Suyin and Cho Yun, his murderous aura became even more intense. Shit. Suyin knew that this was not good. He was also very clear that with just the two of them, it would not bode well for them. At the very least, they still needed Lin Gu by their side to be able to fight to a draw. However, Lung Chen was already walking towards them step by step. The murderous aura on his body was also becoming more and more biting cold. Li Moran also followed Suyin and Cho Yun's gazes and looked over. The originally bright smile on his face was more or less stiff. Brother, I'm sorry. I think you should pack up early. Suyin said indifferently. He did not want to involve innocent people. This matter had nothing to do with others. Cho Yun, who usually did not like to talk, also spoke up. Thank you for the potato soup. Li Moran put away his playful tone and said indifferently, I think you guys need some help. Chapter 8:12. Although this place was bustling with traffic, Lung Chen did not have any scruples. His vengeful heart had long since eroded his entire being. If not for his injuries and the fact that Suyin had so many experts by his side, he would have already come knocking on his door. If one had to say what Lung Chen was worried about, it would be Gu Zueren's warning. However, the situation was different now. Lung Chen had changed his previous strategy. He no longer insisted on obtaining Guogua before looking for the lost treasure in Wang Longhuang's hands. For the sake of his ambition, he hoped that he could heal his injuries through Yilan. and then use him as a bargaining chip to obtain what he wanted from Wang Long Huang. If the evil warding treasure manual could help him break through to the sky profound realm first, he would ignore Gu Zueren's warning. Even if he had to kill Su Yin, it would not matter. Leng Chen was much more clear-headed than before. If Su Yin did not die, it would be very difficult for him to obtain that living treasure Guagua. He would also not be able to realize his huge ambition and plan to become the world's #1 expert. The pressure from the confrontation between the three of them caused the passers-by to feel fear and trepidation. They all stopped in their tracks and turned to leave, or took a long detour. The heavens are really good to me, to actually let me meet you here and give me such a good opportunity. Leng Chen's laughter was filled with a sinister taste. No matter how much you pray, I will not let go of another chance to take your life today. Su Yin, I have to admit that you are the person who has given me the most headaches in my life. Su Yin had no intention of avoiding or escaping. There was no point in escaping, so he might as well think of a way to face him. Being able to meet you here is indeed good news for me. At least I can be sure of one thing. You still haven't found the Immortal Mountain's medical sage Yilan. Otherwise, you wouldn't still be strolling around in this city. You would have gone to Lunan long ago, right? Leng Chen's expression changed. He had to admit that Su Yin had seen through everything about him. This brat was definitely the biggest enemy in his life. Leng Chen had already steeled his heart to eliminate him. If he didn't kill Su Yin, he would be an endless source of trouble for him in the future. It was better to end it once and for all. You know too much, Su Yin. Has anyone ever told you that the more you know, the more dangerous it is? Leng Chen's expression grew even colder. I can't find any reason to let you live. This day next year will be your death anniversary. Prepare to die. The wind from his palm and his voice fell at the same time. That bitingly cold and domineering force rushed toward Su Yin. Su Yin did not hesitate and quickly circulated his Zhen Qi to protect his body. Although this Zhen Qi was slightly weaker in front of Leng Chen's Earth Demon Qi, it was still able to resist it. The two palms collided, and Su Yun's body slid back several meters due to the huge impact. Two deep imprints were left on the limestone pavement under his feet. Leng Chen's domineering palm energy invaded Su Yun's body, exploding with a feeling that wanted to tear him apart. As Su Yun retreated quickly, he gathered all his Zhen Qi around his heart meridians. Only then was he able to protect his state of mind from being shattered by the Earth Demon Qi, as expected of an Earth Profound Realm expert. The difference in strength was huge. If it were just Su Yun and Chou Yan alone, the two of them would definitely die today. Just as Su Yun was being forced to retreat, Chou Yan charged forward without any regard for her own safety. However, even Su Yun, who had broken through to the Grandmaster realm, found it so difficult to fight against Leng Chen, let alone Chou Yan. In front of Leng Chen, it was like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. It was completely useless. Chou Yan was also very clear that she wasn't a match for Leng Chen, but she still couldn't watch Leng Chen approach Su Yin again. Even if she lost her life, she wouldn't let Su Yin be seriously injured again. When Chou Yan faced Leng Chen, that kind of majestic internal energy was like a huge and invisible palm. Her entire body was sent flying by that domineering and powerful palm wind, until her body heavily knocked over the small cart of potato soup. The young man selling potatoes, Li Moran, was dumbfounded. This confrontation was definitely not something an ordinary person would do. Quickly leave this place. Although Chou Yun was already seriously injured, she still cared about innocent people at this time. This moved Li Moran to the point that his eyes turned red. Su Yin once again stood in front of Leng Chen. A trace of blood hung on the corner of his mouth. He sneered. Leng Chen, this is not the strength an Earth Profound Realm expert should have. It seems like your injuries are really quite serious. How is it? Does it feel uncomfortable to forcefully use the baleful Earth Qi? Leng Chen narrowed his eyes. Nonsense, if he wasn't injured, he wouldn't even put an expert who had just stepped into the Grandmaster realm in his eyes. You still dare to be stubborn when you're about to die? The expression in Leng Chen's eyes became more and more ruthless. Originally, I wanted to give you a quick death, but now I suddenly realize that torturing you is much more fun than I thought. Su Yin, let's play slowly. Today, I'll let you know why people call me the King of Hell. All of my most loyal subordinates are dead, and it's all because of you. Doesn't it feel good to be alone? Haha. In the end, you'll only lose everything you have little by little. You'll never get what you want. Suyun now had to anger Lung Chen. Only when Lung Chen's mind completely fell into an irrational state would he have a chance to live. Sure enough, Lung Chen was furious. He raised his fist and rushed forward. Looks like you're in a hurry to be reincarnated. Facing Lung Chen, who was closing in on him, Suyun didn't dare to let down his guard. He raised his hands in front of his chest to block Lung Chen's fist. Lung Chen's goal was very clear. He wanted to shatter Suyun's heart meridians and make Suyun beg for death. Otherwise, when he hit Suyun's head with his palm, Suyun could only go to the underworld to play chess with the king of hell. Suyun grasped Lung Chen's intention to torture him. This was his only chance to live. As long as he could prevent his heart meridians from being damaged, Lung Chen wouldn't let him die so easily. Lung Chen felt that it would be too easy for him. Lung Chen was indeed thinking the same. It wasn't that he didn't have the opportunity to kill Suyun, and he had the strength to do so. However, he had been holding back all this time in order to torture Suyun. In the face of Lung Chen's ferocious attacks, Suyun could only barely defend himself. This was also why he had chosen to join forces with Wang Longhuang. If he had the help of a 5th-level grandmaster, he wouldn't have to be in such a sorry state. In the face of a true expert, the strength of a grandmaster was still too weak. Finally, after Suyun blocked more than 10 of Lung Chen's attacks, his strength was exhausted and he revealed an opening. Lung Chen seized the opportunity and turned his iron fist into a fierce palm. He gathered his true qi in his palm and directly attacked Suyun's heart. Chapter 8:13. Lung Chen naturally wouldn't let go of such an opportunity. The anger in his heart surged. It seemed that only by crushing Suyun's heart meridian could he release all the depression he had been suffering in his heart all this time. His ferocious eyes stared fixedly at Suyun's face, venting the flames of anger in his heart. At the critical moment, Cho Yun ignored the heavy injury she had just suffered and threw a bowl of boiling potato soup directly at Lung Chen. Lung Chen, who was focused on Suyun, realized that something was coming at him, but it was more or less too late. He turned around and blocked the plastic bowl filled with potato soup, but he couldn't stop the soup from spilling onto his face. Hiss. In the end, Lung Chen, who was scalded, didn't slap Suyun's heart meridian. Instead, he stared coldly at Cho Yun with a sinister smile on his face, as if he had found a better way to make Suyun suffer. Suyun, haven't you always cared about the people around you? Then I'll let you see how your woman dies with your own eyes. Enjoy that feeling. Suyun's expression changed. He realized what Lung Chen wanted to do. He hysterically shouted at Cho Yun. Go. Inform Lin Ge that he must protect Yilan and not let him find her. Yilan. Yilan, the medical sage of Immortal Mountain, was really here. Lung Chen's expression became increasingly strange. There's no one I can't find when I want to find her. Even if you hide her to the ends of the earth. I won't leave you alone. Cho Yun's cold expression was full of determination. She couldn't leave Suyun alone here to die, because this man had saved her in Guogua more than once. If she gave up on Suyun and chose to leave now, she might as well choose to die. Suyun had exhausted all his energy in the fight with Lung Chen just now. When he saw Lung Chen approaching Cho Yun step by step, the feeling of helplessness almost made Suyun collapse. During the mission back then, the scene of Yinlong dying tragically in front of him reappeared in Suyun's mind. The explosive anger that Suyun thought had been neutralized for many days now filled his body again. He didn't want to lose anyone else, even if he had to pay the price with his life. Lung Chen walked to Cho Yun her face and grabbed Cho Yun's hair. He looked at her with a ferocious expression on his face. Violent fox noble, haha, perhaps in front of others, you are a terrifying fox noble. But in my eyes you're nothing but a lowly little fox. If it wasn't for Suyun, perhaps I wouldn't have killed you. I would have built a pure gold cage and kept you in it. Wouldn't that count as the world's #1 pet? Ha ha ha. Only that would be worthy of my status as the world's #1. But it's a pity that you're someone Suyun cares about, so you won't give me the chance to be your pet. Bah! Cho Yun spat on Lung Chen's face. That's just your wishful thinking. A person with desires will never become the world's number one. Stop dreaming. Cho Yun's saliva slowly slid down Lung Chen's face to his chin. The humiliation made Lung Chen raise his right hand and slap Cho Yun. Just as the huge palm was about to land on Cho Yun's cheek, it suddenly stopped. Lung Chen's wrist was tightly held by someone. What everyone couldn't believe was that the person who stopped Lung Chen's slap was actually the little potato soup seller, Lee Moran. Lung Chen felt as if he was dreaming. A street potato seller was actually able to stop his swift slap? Su Yun, who was slowly eroding his body, was also startled. Lee Moran was definitely not an ordinary person. He should have thought of this a long time ago. From the moment he and Lung Chen looked at each other, the pressure from their bodies was enough to make any ordinary person hide as far away as possible. Those peddlers who didn't manage to escape in time were all knocked unconscious by the invisible pressure. Ordinary people didn't even have the chance to stand in front of Lung Chen, let alone stop Lung Chen's swift slap. Cho Yun was also stunned. The guy she had asked to leave several times was actually still here. Moreover, what kind of freak was he? Just like little Dongbei, she couldn't feel the slightest bit of cultivation in his body, but he was able to face an earth-profound realm expert like Lung Chen without any fear. Hitting a woman. To think that you're a man. Lee Moran spat on the ground. His block had already bought a lot of time for Su Yun. Su Yun wanted to struggle to get up, but the violent rage in his heart made him suffer unbearably. It was as if some kind of demon wanted to swallow him whole. Su Yun's vision became darker and darker. Slowly, he couldn't even see clearly which of the three people in front of him was the Lung Chen he wanted to deal with. Thump! Su Yun, who had just barely managed to stand, fell straight to the ground again. Lung Chen looked back at Su Yun with disdain. It seemed that this kid wasn't as strong as he thought. Weak strength was weak after all. Lee Moran was still staring at Lung Chen with a pair of round eyes, not avoiding the pressure coming from Lung Chen's body. He had a righteous look, as if he was saying, "Beast, let go of this beauty, let me do it." Potato seller, I think you're really tired of living. Lung Chen's right hand was still tightly held by Lee Moran. You'll regret what you're doing now for the rest of your life. If I watch you bully a woman like a coward, then I'll regret it for the rest of my life. Lee Moran snorted. Who on this street doesn't know that the thing I, Lee Moran, hate the most is people bullying women? Moreover, it's bullying a beauty. You're even more hateful, bullying the two best customers I've ever met. I'm warning you, let go. Lung Chen wasted time talking to Lee Moran, because he couldn't figure out the other party's background. Even now, he had tried many times to test the other party's mental strength, but the feedback he received shocked him. Because the other party was an ordinary person without any mental strength cultivation. Of course, Lung Chen wouldn't listen obediently. He didn't loosen his grip on Cho Yun's hair. Instead, he exerted force with his right arm, trying to shake off Lee Moran's grip on his wrist. Lee Moran's expression changed and he said sternly, "You have such great arm strength." Although he said that, he still didn't loosen his grip on Lung Chen's wrist. Lung Chen was really shocked. What kind of abnormal strength was this? Could it be the reincarnation of the Calabash brothers? This abnormal power was actually able to control the true chi of an earth-profound realm expert. If this matter were to spread, it would simply be a fantasy. Who are you? Although Lung Chen couldn't test the other party's mental strength, he couldn't help but be curious about this kind of genius. Lee Moran was upright and plain-spoken, and said seriously, "My name is Lee Moran, male, 24 years old, the #1 potato seller on the street. People gave me a nickname, the #1 young man who acted bravely for a just cause. If you know what's good for you, then let go of my customer. Otherwise, I won't be polite to you." Chapter 8:14. Lee Moran frowned. "I'm not joking with you. Lee Moran, right? Okay, I'll give you a chance. You can be considered a genius to be able to catch my palm," Lung Chen said indifferently. "If you're willing to follow me, I can guarantee that you won't have to stay in this small city's pedestrian street to sell potato soup anymore. Money, status, women, power, whatever you want, I can give it to you. Lee Moran's expression was very exaggerated. Big brother, aren't you bragging too much? Who do you think you are? Our boss Huaxia is a prostitute. Look at how low-key she is. She's so capable, but I haven't seen anyone bragging like you. Do you know what socialism is? Then there's no such thing as what you said, everyone is equal. Aren't you being too sloppy with your bragging? Brat, are you deliberately playing dumb with me? Lung Chen suddenly flung Cho Yun away. Cho Yun's body fell heavily to the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood. It seemed that she was also injured. After all, the difference in strength between her and Lung Chen was like heaven and earth. After being hit by Lung Chen's palm, Cho Yun felt that everything in her body was in a mess, as if she had been disintegrated. Didn't your mother teach you what it means to have tender feelings for the fairer sex? Lee Moran saw that Cho Yun was thrown to the ground and spat out blood. He immediately scolded. I've never seen a bastard like you in my life. If I don't teach you a lesson today, you'll have lived most of your life in vain. Lung Chen didn't have the patience to listen to a young man preaching to him. Brat, I'll give you one last chance. Choose to work with me or choose to die. I choose to be your boss. Lee Moran shouted and grabbed Lung Chen's right wrist with both hands. He suddenly exerted force on his feet, and his whole body spun. Even though Lung Chen had already noticed Lee Moran's strange strength, he still didn't expect this guy's strength to be so great that he could throw him into the air. Lee Moran was like a spinning top, constantly spinning his body with small steps. Under the centrifugal force of inertia, Lung Chen's entire body was thrown into the air, his entire body flying horizontally. The more Lee Moran turned, the more energetic he became, and the faster his small steps became. Just as Lee Moran realized that he was about to faint, he suddenly let go. Lung Chen's entire body flew out. Lee Moran's monstrous strength, coupled with the huge centrifugal force, actually caused Lung Chen to fly dozens of meters away, until his entire back slammed against the ancient wall of the pedestrian street. Boom! After the loud sound of the falling stone, Lee Moran was dumbfounded. He realized that he was in trouble, big trouble. The ancient buildings on these 6 pedestrian streets were all from hundreds of years ago. How could he know that a person's body could actually smash through the walls? Destroying an ancient building was considered a criminal act of vandalism. But if it was a serious matter, it would be considered a historical sinner who destroyed an ancient building. Lee Moran patted his head. Oh my God! Nowadays, even if I sell potato soup on the pedestrian street, I can still get into so much trouble. How many shameful things did I do in my previous life to make me so unlucky in this life? After taking the civil servant exam for 3 years, I was squeezed out of the interview by a bastard with connections and background. Even if I wanted to do some small business, it's still so unsatisfactory. Selling potato soup in this place is definitely impossible. Don't even think about it. I've only worked for half a year. Half a year ago, I spent so much effort to beat up the big gangster Lu Ermao in this area in exchange for some peace and quiet. AI. The more Lee Moran thought about it, the more upset he became. Although it was a big deal to crash the ancient building, what if that person was killed by him? Not to mention acting bravely for a just cause. Even if it was legitimate self-defense, this self-defense was too excessive. If I don't run now, when will I? Otherwise, even if I don't eat a bullet, I'll have to spend the rest of my life in prison. It's better to hide in the Great Koan Mountain and find an uninhabited area to build a small wooden house. I'll catch some wild rabbits and fish on weekdays. Although I won't become a great talent, I won't starve to death and I won't lose my freedom. Just when Lee Moran regretted his impulsiveness, the pile of crushed gravel bounced away with a crash. The guy who was thrown away by him stood up again. Lee Moran almost cried with joy. This guy is not dead. Ha ha ha. It seems that I don't have to worry about this prison. Until now, Lee Moran still hadn't figured out the situation. If Lung Chen didn't die, it meant that he would face more troublesome things. Lung Chen had never been so embarrassed. He was thrown to the ground by an ordinary boy who hadn't even touched the door of martial arts and vomited blood. This was simply a great shame. He couldn't find a reason to let him live. Lung Chen walked towards Lee Moran step by step with his head full of blood. His anger almost burned his whole body. Are you a human or a ghost? Lee Moran looked at Lung Chun with wide eyes. He was injured like this, but he could still stand and walk in front of him. This was definitely not an ordinary shock. Lee Moran had to admit that he was a little flustered. It wasn't that he hadn't fought before, and it wasn't that he hadn't beaten people until their heads bled, but this time it gave him a different feeling. He knew from the beginning that he wasn't facing an ordinary gangster like before, so he used a lot more force than usual. If a person could withstand his fist, he could understand that they could take a beating. But if a person's body was harder than bricks, that would be a bit exaggerated. After all, they were all made of flesh. Such a heavy bluestone was broken, but his head wasn't broken. It really went against scientific common sense. The veins on Lung Chen's forehead bulged, and the muscles on his cheekbones trembled. He was indeed not a human, but he wasn't a ghost either. What was a ghost? He was a person who was called the King of Hell. Even if he couldn't get what he wanted and become the #1 person in the world, he was only one of the 7 kings who were only below the 3 emperors. How could a kid who sold potatoes on the street dare to treat him like this? How could he be in such a sorry state because of a guy who sold potatoes? Although Lee Moran was strong, the injuries he inflicted on Lung Chun were only superficial. Although the pain of the flesh was embarrassing, it was absolutely nothing to an expert, let alone fatal. The real fatal injuries were internal injuries. Lung Chun was currently troubled because of his internal injuries. Otherwise, he wouldn't have racked his brains to come here and search every inch of land to find the immortal mountain medical sage. How about this? I see that you're injured quite badly, so let's call it even. Lee Moran swallowed a mouthful of saliva. The aura of an earth-profound realm expert was completely different from the pressure from before. Just when Lee Moran was at a loss, a heavy and powerful hand landed on his shoulder, giving him a big fright. Lee Moran turned around and saw Su Yun standing behind him. Su Yun's voice was low and cold. Take Cho Yun to the hospital. Her injuries can't be delayed any longer. Chapter 8:15. Lung Chen's eyes were bloodshot. The rush of blood and qi made him unable to control his emotions. Su Yun, who had been worn down by him, was standing in front of him again. Moreover, the aura on his body was far stronger than what he had experienced before. He didn't know what kind of faith made Su Yun stand up and face him again, but this feeling made him very uncomfortable. Lee Moran's strange strength allowed him to easily lift Cho Yun up and put her on the electric tricycle he bought to sell potato soup, but Cho Yun still insisted on struggling. Su Yun, I will never leave you here alone to fight. I will never leave alone. Ask him to put me down. What should we do? Lee Moran saw Cho Yun's persistence and didn't dare to take her away. He could only look at Su Yun doubtfully. Can you really do it alone? If you stay, it'll just be 2 more people dying. Su Yun said seriously. The only thing I can do now is to hold him back. Cho Yun, whether you agree or not, I'm sure Guogua can't lose you. If you really want to help me, then ask him to take you away immediately. Cho Yun's breathing had begun to become rapid, and the blood in her body made her mind increasingly unclear. But Guogua can't lose you either. If anything happens to you, I won't live alone. I promise Guogua and Sister Shuang that as long as I'm still alive, I won't let any harm come to you. I won't die so easily. The reawakened hostility in Su Yun's heart was like a powerful and effective stimulant. He was burning his life and overdrawing his physical strength. The only thing you can do for me now is to leave this place. I don't want to have to worry about making a move later. Under the erosion of hostility, Su Yun's temper was no longer so friendly. Leave now. Don't make me say it again. Lee Moran, if you're a man, don't be so wishy-washy. Lee Moran grunted and nodded heavily. He didn't care about Cho Yun's objection because she was on the verge of passing out. If she stayed, not only would she not be able to help, but she would also become a burden. He was also very clear about his own ability. Except for his terrifying brute force, he was afraid that he couldn't help with anything. Su Yun stood in front of Lung Chun while Lee Moran drove his electric tricycle away from the pedestrian street. Behind Su Yun, there was only the sound of the wheels and the bluestone road making bumping sounds. When the sound of the bumpy ride gradually faded into silence, the corners of his mouth revealed a sinister smile. Lung Chen's confidence came from his strength. He really couldn't understand how a kid who had just reached the Grandmaster realm had the courage to fight him one-on-one. Su Yun, I have to admit that you're really a talent, and I have to admire your character and courage. But I also have to tell you very clearly that all of this is meaningless. Your death won't save anyone, because I'll tear them all apart one by one. You can't protect any of them. The underground world is a battlefield where strength determines everything. Su Yun's smile became even colder. You're right. If I die, I won't be able to protect anyone. But if you die, everything will be over. I die. Lung Chen's body exploded with a strong killing intent. Aren't you being a little too confident? Then let's try. Driven by the hostility that hadn't dissipated for a long time, Su Yun's body also erupted with a murderous aura, like 10,000 horses galloping. The two evenly matched auras collided, and even the full moon in the sky couldn't help but hide behind the clouds. Su Yun understood the principle of preemptive strike better than anyone else, especially when the opponent was stronger than him. If he didn't take the initiative, he would be the one to lose. After practicing martial arts for so many years, Su Yun naturally understood the true meaning of the weak fighting against the strong. As long as he put his life on the line and used moves that could kill 1,000 enemies at the cost of 800 of his own strength, he might be able to win. When Su Yun poured all of his true chi into his attacks and didn't care about defense at all, Lung Chen found it difficult to withstand. After all, he hadn't recovered from his injuries yet, and he had just been thrown to the ground by that guy with monstrous strength. All of his bones felt loose. Su Yun's fists were like dragons, and Lung Chen didn't dare to casually block his punches that were filled with pressure and true chi. Even if Su Yun's attacks were full of loopholes, and Lung Chen could kill him with a single strike, he was very clear that he would also be heavily injured. Su Yun was facing Lung Chen with the mentality of perishing together with him. But Lung Chen didn't want to pay too heavy a price because of this. After all, with Su Yun's current strength, under the influence of the hostility, as long as he struck Lung Chen's vitals, even if Lung Chen didn't die, he would lose all of his cultivation. At that time, his life's grand ambitions would also flow east like a river, never to return. Su Yun, who was becoming more and more courageous as he fought, was even more certain of Lung Chen's misgivings. Thus, he poured himself into his attacks even more fiercely. Fists, palms, elbows, knees, everything that Su Yun could use was thrown at Lung Chen without holding back. His original plan wasn't to fight to the death with Lung Chen like this. But now, the hostility that had swallowed Su Yun's heart had completely taken over his mind. It could be said that Su Yun didn't care about the consequences at all. He only had one thought in his mind, and that was to kill Lung Chen. Only then would he be able to free himself. After Lung Chen blocked Su Yun's wave of attacks, he started to get used to his opponent's crazy attacks. After escaping Su Yun's fatal attacks a few times, as an Earth-profound realm expert, he gradually regained his confidence. Lung Chen repeatedly emphasized to himself that a starving camel was still bigger than a horse. No matter what, he was still an expert who was stronger than Su Yun. The battle started with Su Yun attacking fiercely and Lung Chen retreating, but it gradually turned into a battle between the two of them. When Su Yun's fist collided with Lung Chen's fist for the first time, he realized that his opponent was indeed stronger than him. At the same time, Lung Chen also realized that things weren't as simple as he thought. Under the erosion of his injuries, Lung Chen and Su Yun, whose hostility had stimulated his potential, could only be said to be on par. The only thing that was disadvantageous to Lung Chen was his mentality. He couldn't risk his life like Su Yun. He still wanted to live. He still wanted to become the #1 person in the underground world and conquer the entire underground world. His ambition once again gave Lung Chen an endless stream of motivation. He faced Su Yun's whip kick and chopped out with his hand. Although the collision caused his finger bones to feel like they were about to break, he was sure that Su Yun's leg wasn't any better. Chapter 8:16. Before she regained consciousness, Cho Yun dialed Lin Ji's number with a trembling hand. Lin Ge was shocked when he heard that. They had actually encountered Lung Chen, and now Su Yun was facing the most ruthless Pluto of the 7 kings alone. Things were probably not looking good. At least, Lin Ge couldn't imagine Su Yun's current situation. Su Yun had spent so much effort to form an alliance with Wang Longhuang, but it wasn't for the sake of curing Wang Longhuang's male Kagan disease. At the very least, the two of them had to work together to have a chance of contending against Leng Chun. If it was just relying on Su Yun alone, it was truly beyond difficult. After hanging up the phone, Lin Ge rushed into the nunnery immediately. Luo Xing, who was guarding the nunnery, stopped him. "What do you want to do? The emperor said that no one can enter without his permission." "Something has happened. I don't have time to waste with you now," Lin Ge said coldly. "I don't have to go in. Call Wang Longhuang immediately and ask him to come out immediately. Leng Chun has appeared." Jin Jingyi was stunned. "That's impossible." "Nothing is impossible." Lin Ge didn't have time to explain to them. "Ask Wang Longhuang to come with me immediately. Since Leng Chun has appeared in this city, it means that my brother's prediction is right. His purpose is to find the Immortal Mountain's medical sage to treat him. Now my brother is in danger. You and Wang Longhuang must come with me to help him." Luo Xing sneered. "Boy, what are you talking about? Do you really think that the emperor will help you offend the Pluto? That's a decision that will not make up for the losses. He just found an excuse to visit his ex-wife. You can solve your own problems. Even if the Pluto really appears here, as long as he doesn't find this place, we won't meddle in other people's business." "What did you say?" Lin Ji's eyes flashed with a cold light. "I dare you to say it again." Jin Jini could see Lin Ji's anger, so she stood out to smooth things over. "Black Tiger, this is a serious matter. I'd better go in and inform Tianzi. If Leng Chun really does appear, we should at least be prepared." Hearing Jin Jini's words, Lin Ge finally calmed down. If Luo Xing's attitude was like this, he was not afraid of falling out with him. At most, they would just leave. Even if he had to risk his life, he would save Su Yun. If he could survive, he would definitely find Xie Fei's and bring his brothers to exterminate him, Wang Longhuang, and all of Lunan. Luo Xing didn't seem too happy about it. From the very beginning, he was very against this matter. He really didn't want to go against Leng Chun. "Is it as serious as you say? Where is Su Yun?" Luo Xing raised his eyebrows and asked. Lin Ge snorted coldly. "If you have the guts, don't let me see you again." After saying that, Lin Ge turned around and left. If he continued to waste time, Su Yun would only be in more danger. Since the other party was making things difficult for him, there was no need for him to be thick-skinned and ask for help. Even if he were to act alone, it would be impossible for him to defeat two ninth-stage experts. "Don't tell me you want to go by yourself?" Jin Jini suddenly grabbed Lin Ge from behind. "If that's the case, you'll just be giving your life away if you go by yourself. Since you guys aren't going to do anything, why should I waste my breath here?" Lin Ge said coldly. "Devil Hand, you better let go of me now. Otherwise, you'll end up like Black Tiger." Luo Xing snorted. "Brat, who are you trying to scare? Who do you think you are? If you have the guts, just go by yourself. Whether you can survive today is still a question. You still want to threaten us? Let me tell you, I, Black Tiger, have been scared since I was young. Black Tiger, this matter isn't as simple as you think it is. I'll go and inform them." Jin Jini turned around and walked into the nunnery. "Are you as naive as this brat? Devil Hand, you don't believe that the emperor has been thinking about Madame Yi all these years. Now that the two of them finally have the chance to meet, you still want to disturb them?" Luo Xing said. "You still don't understand why the emperor doesn't put you in an important position despite your loyalty. He only thinks of you in this kind of situation. Why don't you take a look at yourself and see if you're sensible?" Jin Jini paused for a moment, but still walked in resolutely. Even if Wang Longhuang disliked her because of this, she had chosen to be loyal to him. She had to consider everything for him and not hide such an important matter because of these trivial matters. Lin Ge couldn't help but admit that he had a good impression of Jin Jini, and his hatred for Luo Xing grew stronger. After Jin Jini entered the nunnery, the smell of gunpowder between Lin Ge and Luo Xing escalated. A special atmosphere began to spread in the air, as if the two of them would fight to the death at any moment. "You're not big, but you've got guts. When Luo Xing saw that Lin Ji's aura wasn't any weaker than his, he mocked. Sometimes, you don't need to rely on your mouth to talk. You need to rely on your words. As he spoke, Luo Xing waved his fist, provoking Lin Ge without any hesitation. Lin Ge smiled disdainfully. Anytime. Do you think I'm afraid of you? There's a saying in the ancient times that one has to look at the owner before beating a dog. If it wasn't for the alliance between my brother and Wang Longhuang, I would have dealt with you a long time ago. Who are you trying to show your stinky face to? Who do you think you are, Black Tiger Luo Xing? I'm not afraid to tell you that in the underground world, not many people know that your name is Luo Xing because everyone only knows that Black Tiger is Wang Longhuang's dog. Luo Xing was angered by Lin Ji's words. Kid, you better watch your mouth. If you speak rudely again, don't blame me for twisting your head off and kicking it like a ball. Come and try if you have the guts. We don't know who will be the one kicking the other's head like a ball. Lin Ge, who was still young and frivolous, of course would not be afraid of Luo Xing's threat. He rolled up his sleeves and was ready to fight. Luo Xing did not hesitate and attacked when he should. If he didn't teach this kid a lesson, people would really think that he, Black Tiger, was a pushover. Stop. Before Luo Xing could attack, Wang Longhuang scolded. I didn't ask you to come here to cause trouble for me. I asked you to come here to do things. Yes. Luo Xing stopped and nodded. Lin Ge spat. Since Wang Longhuang was here, he didn't want to argue with Luo Xing anymore. Where is Su Yin now? Wang Longhuang knew that he and Su Yin were the only hope to kill Ling Chen. If Su Yin was killed midway, then Lin Ge wouldn't help him for no reason. With just him, Black Tiger and Devil Hand, he didn't have the confidence to win against Ling Chen. Lin Ge glared fiercely at Luo Xing and replied, 6-man pedestrian street. If anything happens to my brother because of wasting time, I won't let you guys off. It's useless to say all this now. Let's go now. Wang Longhuang frowned and quickly walked to the car. Jean Genie also quickly opened the door and sat in the driver's seat. Chapter 8:17. Lung Chen couldn't believe that someone who was so much weaker than him could fight him to this extent. Lung Chen's left leg, which had been hit by Su Yun, trembled from time to time due to the exhaustion of his strength. His fists were numb, and he couldn't even feel them anymore. He didn't know how many times he had exchanged blows with Su Yun. He had used all his strength every time, but Su Yun had been able to withstand it. Su Yun's undying state was the most unbelievable thing to Lung Chen. Even now, Su Yun was still able to maintain his ferocious attacks. He still wanted to take Lung Chen's life at all costs. What was it that was supporting his actions? This kind of belief was too terrifying. Based on Su Yun's true strength, he should have been unable to hold on for much longer. However, his powerful mental strength allowed him to remain standing. Lung Chen, who had been attacking for a long time, also realized that there was a problem. Although his opponent was weaker than him, it was as if he had been cursed. He wouldn't stop until he killed Lung Chen. If this continued, Su Yun would definitely die. However, Lung Chen was afraid that he wouldn't have a good ending due to overexertion. This battle couldn't go on like this because someone would definitely call the police. If the police came to seal off the scene, Lung Chen's situation would become even more troublesome. Lung Chen decided to withdraw, but Su Yun didn't give him the chance to do so. The entire pedestrian street was empty because of the two people's powerful auras. The crazy battle continued. Su Yun only had one thought in his heart. He couldn't let Lung Chen leave his sight alive. Lung Chen took the opportunity to withdraw and immediately fled the scene. Su Yun followed closely behind without hesitation. When Lin Ge and Wang Longhuang arrived at the pedestrian street, there was no one there. Su Yun and Lung Chen were long gone. All that was left was a mess and several police cars with flashing lights. Oh no! Lin Ge knew that they were too late. Tianzi, there are police here. We better leave as soon as possible. There's no need to add unnecessary trouble to ourselves. Luo Xing's first reaction was to give up. Without waiting for Wang Longhuang to make a decision, Lin Ge opened the door and got out of the car, rushing to the scene that had been cordoned off by the police. When a policeman saw someone coming, he immediately stepped forward to stop him. The police are handling a case. Unrelated people are not allowed to enter. What happened here? Lin Ge frowned. He was only worried about Su Yun's situation. Who are you? The young policeman standing in front of Lin Ge said. Don't ask about things you shouldn't ask about. Go do what you need to do. Don't interfere with official business. Lin Ge casually made up a story. I'm a journalist. I hope to get some first-hand news. Oh, does that mean I can make the headlines? Will I be able to get some sort of information fee? The police officer was pleasantly surprised. That depends on whether the information you provide is of any value, Lin Ge said. If not for the urgency of the situation, he really wanted to slap this money grubber in the face. The young policeman pointed at the pedestrian street. We received a report that there were two madmen fighting here. We rushed to the scene, but by the time we arrived, the two troublemakers had already disappeared. They left behind this mess. Some ancient buildings have been damaged, so we have to find out who did this. Lin Ge was shocked. Where are the two of them? We can't be sure yet, but based on the clues left behind by their blood, we believe that they have escaped to Lone Hill, which is a less populated area, the policeman said. That's all I know for now. How did you determine the direction they escaped in? Lin Ge was puzzled. The policeman pointed at a road. A police dog's nose can't be wrong. They turned right on this road and left. We immediately notified the nearby city police to seal off the road, but we haven't received any news of the two people. Our people followed the trail, and the information they got was that the blood trail became blurry near Lone Hill. We police are professionals, so of course we can confirm that they must have hidden in Lone Hill. Of course, now that we've arranged for people to enter the hill, we should be able to catch them in no time. Lin Ge frowned. How far is it from here to Lone Hill? If you drive fast, it'll take at most 20 minutes, the young policeman said. Brother, I've told you so much. How much can you pay for the information fee? Lin Ge ignored the guy and quickly returned to the car. Wang Longhuang frowned. What's going on? Follow this road to the end and turn right, then follow the provincial road to Lone Hill. Lin Ge didn't have time to explain. Now, why should we listen to you? Luo Xing said unhappily. Wang Longhuang glanced at Luo Xing. We don't have a choice now. Although Jin Jingyi didn't like Lin Ji's commanding tone, he knew that the situation was urgent. Wang Longhuang was also anxious, so he didn't have time to waste. He quickly drove in the direction Lin Ge had pointed out. The young policeman thought that the reporter had gotten into the car to collect the information fee, but the car had just sped off. He cursed in his heart. Wasn't this too much of a scam? They actually ran away for a few $100s. If he wasn't on official business, he would have chased after them and taught them a lesson. F***CK. You better not let me know which news agency you're from. The young policeman spat on the ground angrily. Jin Jingyi drove very fast. When they arrived near Lone Hill, they found that the police had already arrived. Since that was the case, they gave up on going through the main entrance. This kind of small matter couldn't stump a few experts. A minute later, they were all inside the Lone Mountain. Lone Hill was probably the last undeveloped area in the city. Everything had maintained its original nature. However, there were already people who wanted to develop it into a wildlife park. Lone Hill occupied a large enough area. If such a project could be developed, it would definitely boost the tourism industry and increase the economic development and tax revenue. After the four of them entered the hill, Lin Ge suggested that they split up to look for Luo Xing and Luo Xing. They had to find them before the police did. However, Wang Longhuang rejected Lin Ji's suggestion. Lung Chen could also be in the forest. They had to unite and prepare for a fierce battle at any time. In the end, Lin Ge couldn't convince them. No matter where he went, Wang Longhuang and his two men followed behind him. Perhaps Lin Ge and Su Yun had some telepathy between them. Lin Ge was sure that the two of them would definitely head towards the more complicated parts of the forest. Neither of them wanted to get into trouble with the police. Chapter 8:18. Brother! Lin Ge cried out in alarm and quickly rushed forward. Wang Longhuang and the others all raised their guard to 200%, worried that Lung Chen would appear and attack them at any moment. Seeing Su Yun's dying state, Lin Ji's heart felt like it was stabbed by a knife. He gritted his teeth and said, "I will kill that bastard Leng Chun with my own hands." Compared to Su Yun's life and death, Wang Longhuang was more concerned about where Leng Chun had escaped to. "Su Yun, where is Leng Chun?" Su Yun slowly raised his hand and revealed a relaxed smile. He said to Lin Ge, "You don't need to kill him with your own hands. Leng Chun is already dead." When he said this, not only was Lin Ge stunned, Wang Longhuang and Jin Jingyi were also shocked. They stared at Su Yun with wide eyes. They obviously didn't dare to believe it. No matter what, Leng Chun was still one of the 7 kings, an earth-profound realm expert. How could Su Yun do it with his own strength? What kind of joke was this? Impossible. How could you kill the Nether King? Luo Xing's expression was even more exaggerated. "You said he's dead. Then where is his corpse? Su Yun, stop boasting and prove it to us." "Black Tiger, it seems like you really care about your master as a spy." Su Yun's mouth slightly raised. "No wonder Leng Chun arrived when we just got here. If Leng Chun didn't tell me you were his man, I wouldn't dare to believe it. Now I finally understand why you always call him the King of Hell. It's because he's your true master." Luo Xing's expression changed. "Su Yun, have you been beaten, silly? What nonsense are you spouting? I don't understand what you're saying at all. Are you crazy?" Lin Ge turned around and angrily glared. "I've long felt that something was wrong with you. You're always stalling for time. So you're Leng Chun's man. You're in cahoots with Miao Dao and the others. You've long known that Miao Dao and the others joined Leng Chun's forces. It's because you've joined Leng Chun's faction just like them." Su Yun continued. "Leng Chun kept you by Wang Longhuang's side just to steal that book. Am I wrong?" "What book? I don't understand anything you're saying." The killing intent in Luo Xing's heart intensified. Suddenly his expression changed. "Who told you to spout nonsense? Watch me take your life." Seeing this, Lin Ge immediately stood in front of Su Yun. Su Yun could no longer fight in his current state. However, Luo Xing's raised fist was grabbed by Wang Longhuang. Wang Longhuang looked at Luo Xing with a serious expression and asked in a low voice, "Black Tiger, is what he said true? Son of Heaven, I've been loyal to you for so many years. You actually believe an outsider instead of me?" Luo Xing's face was filled with grief. Wang Longhuang narrowed his eyes. "It's not that I don't believe you, but I can't help but suspect you. Before Miao Dao betrayed me, he had the best relationship with you. You even volunteered to investigate his whereabouts. At that time, I had my suspicions. However, I dispelled my suspicions because I felt that you've been loyal to me for so many years. But now, I really don't know how to believe you." "Then you'd rather believe him?" "He said Leng Chun is dead. Then where's his corpse?" Luo Xing said anxiously. "I want to see him if he's alive. If he's dead, I want to see his corpse. Only then can we confirm whether he's telling the truth or not." Su Yun smiled in disdain. "Do you think I still have the energy to drag a dead person to a place where the police can't easily detect him?" Just then, the police's shout came from about a few hundred meters away. "Captain Zhao! Captain Zhao! A corpse was found here. Its shape and appearance are very similar to one of the people described by the police." Everyone immediately fell into silence. Su Yun smiled slightly. "Do you believe me now? Also, regarding Luo Xing, these are the words that Leng Chun told me before he died. I think a dying person wouldn't frame or accuse someone he's never met. He exposed you only because you didn't find what he wanted for so long. That's why he hated you. He felt that if you had found the book he wanted earlier, he wouldn't have ended up like this." Luo Xing's face grew paler and paler. The fine sweat on his forehead started to flow down uncontrollably. He looked at Wang Longhuang with fear. "No, it's not like what he said. Son of Heaven, you mustn't believe him." Wang Longhuang was expressionless. He said to Jin Jingyi, "Devil Hand, tie him up." "Devil Hand, we're from the same sect. Don't you believe me? Aren't you going to plead for me?" Luo Xing turned around and said to Jin Jingyi. Just as he turned around, Wang Longhuang suddenly took out a dagger with a dragon head carved on it from his waist, and stabbed it into Luo Xing's back. Everything happened so suddenly that Luo Xing didn't even have time to react or prepare himself. Even after he fell to the ground, he still stared at Wang Longhuang with his eyes wide open. Wang Longhuang's face was still expressionless. He silently put away the dagger. The police will be here soon. We can't stay here for long. Then where are we going? Lin Ge asked cautiously. Wang Longhuang could see his cautiousness. He said calmly, "Don't worry. Su Yin not only killed Leng Chen and helped me solve the problem, he also helped me find the traitor. I won't harm him. We'll go to the nunnery now. With Su Yin's current injuries, who else other than Yilan can save him?" Su Yin knew this very well. His consciousness had reached its limit. Before he fainted, he still said, "Thank you." Seeing that Su Yin had fainted, Lin Gu asked worriedly, "Are you confident that you can ask the Celestial Mountain's medical sage to save him?" "If I beg her, I'm afraid there's not much hope," Wang Longhuang said. "This will depend on Su Yin's luck. I can only tell Yilan that this kid has an unusual relationship with her sister, Yi Fala. The rest will depend on how Yilan deals with it. Or maybe she'll call her sister who hasn't contacted for many years to confirm. Those things are out of my control. The only thing I can do is to send Su Yin there. The rest will depend on whether he has the protection of the heavens." Jin Genie turned around and looked at the forest not far away. "Tianzi, the police will be here soon. Let's go." Wang Longhuang was the first to bear the brunt. Lin Ge supported Su Yin and Jin Genie brought up the rear. They used tree branches to disrupt their footsteps as they left. Luo Xing, who had died with his eyes wide open, was abandoned on the spot. No one would have imagined that Black Tiger Luo Xing, who was famous in the underground world, would die so easily. Although the discovery of these two corpses would shock the local police, once they found out the identities of these two people, they would probably not continue to pursue the matter. The police would not touch the people of the underground world. This matter was beyond their jurisdiction. They only needed to report it to the higher-ups. Chapter 819. After returning to the nunnery, everything did not go as smoothly as Lin Ge had imagined. Yi Lan's reaction to Wang Longhuang was so cold. No matter how Wang Longhuang begged, Yilan did not stand up to help Su Yin. Lin Ge, an outsider, was even more unable to convince her. Yilan only told them, 10 years ago, I stopped treating anyone's illness. No matter what you say, I won't do it. I have already converted to Buddhism and have no desires. But saving a life is more meritorious than building a 7-storied pagoda. Since you are a Buddha, all the more you should come out to save people, instead of watching the seriously injured die in front of you. Lin Ge could no longer hold back his anger. Buddha wouldn't let you do that, would he? Yilan still said calmly. If it was an ordinary person's injury, so many doctors in the hospital would help him in the belief of saving lives. But you brought him to me, which means that he is not an ordinary person. I've seen too much of the people in the underground world. Perhaps after I save him, more people will suffer because of him. Wang Longhuang took a deep breath. Yilan, I know you still blame me, but Su Yin is different from me. He is not the kind of person you think he is. Maybe you will say that I don't know him well, so why should I say that? But Yi Fala can't be wrong about him, right? You also know that she was imprisoned some time ago. It was this kid who helped her get the right to serve her sentence outside prison. Just based on this, you should save his life, right? Yilan frowned deeply. She did have doubts about this, but she was still hesitating about her choice. How about this? We won't say anything. It's all up to you, Wang Longhuang said. We all know very well that his body is in danger after burning his life force. Other than you, no one can help him. He has no other choice. First, he will die in this nunnery. Second, you will help him. I know that nothing I say can change you, but I will not bet my brother's life on you. Seeing that Yilan did not respond, Lin Ge gave up. Since you are not willing to help, I will take him away now. I will not let him die in this damned place. After speaking, Lin Ge ignored everyone's objections and went forward to pick up Su Yun's body. Young man, Yilan suddenly said, let me give you a piece of advice. His body can't take any more torture. I can assure you that if you leave him in the car now, he will definitely die within 5 kilometers. Lin Ge was infuriated. He no longer treated this man with respect. But if he stays here, won't he die as well? You will not help him. Am I supposed to watch him die in a nunnery with my own eyes? Let me tell you, although everyone says that you are the medical sage of the immortal mountain, your warning is meaningless to me. I believe that my brother won't die so easily. His will is definitely not as weak as you think. Although Wang Longhuang was not satisfied with Lin Ji's attitude, he did not say anything. After all, Yilan was in the wrong. Although she did not have the obligation to save people, she did not have the right to restrict others. Lin Ge did not want to waste any more time. Just as he was about to lift Su Yun's neck, Yilan suddenly changed her mind. All right, I promise you that I will try my best to save him. Lin Ji's face instantly lit up. He looked at Yilan with wide eyes. As long as you are willing to help me, I will do anything you ask of me. I will not even blink if you ask me to die. Medical sage, thank you. Really, I, Lin Ge, will remember your kindness for the rest of my life. Yilan shook her head helplessly. It is not too late to say these things after I really save him. Carry him to my room. No one is allowed to enter without my permission. We have to wait outside? Lin Ge was stunned. Yilan raised her head and glared at Lin Ge. What, boy? Are you afraid that I will eat your brother? I am old enough to be your aunt. You better trust me more. Otherwise, I will take back what I said just now. You can take him away from here and find someone better. Lin Ge was struggling in his heart. Of course I trust you. But can you tell me why he has become like this? Why is he unconscious? You will understand when the accumulated anger in your heart turns into a will that can overdraw your life force and burn yourself. Yilan said. Although I don't know what kind of belief has supported this kid for so long, I can tell you with certainty that his internal organs have been severely injured. Only when his will to live has reached a certain level can I bring him back to life. However, even if he comes back to life, the injuries on his body cannot be healed in a short period of time. I can only guarantee that once he wakes up, the rest will have nothing to do with me. This was enough for Lin Ge. As long as Su Yin could wake up, the rest would not be too late. After Lin Ge and Jin Genie carried Su Yin to Yilan's room, Yilan waved her hand, indicating for them to leave. With Su Yun's current injuries, she could only gamble and hope that all 3,654 acupuncture points on his body were opened by silver needles. Only then would there be hope for him to wake up. If the entire process was disrupted in the slightest, it could lead to failure. Just as Lin Ge was about to leave, Yilan spoke again. From now on, no matter if it is 24 hours or 48 hours, no one is allowed to enter without my call. Boy, since you care so much about his life, you can guard my door. If I don't call you for more than 3 days, you can come in and see if I have fainted from dehydration. Lin Ge widened his eyes and looked at Yilan in confusion. He felt that this was too exaggerated. Could it be that she was not going to eat or drink from now on? Wang Longhuang and Jin Genie were also very surprised. You don't have to be surprised. Yilan said to Lin Ge. He is now a hopeless person in front of anyone. It is not easy to pull someone back from the gates of hell. I will emphasize this one last time. From now on, no one is allowed to disturb me. Otherwise, if he dies because of this, you will have to bear the consequences. Lin Ge swallowed a mouthful of saliva. This sounded like a lot of pressure. Can you do it? Yilan raised her eyebrows and asked. Lin Ge nodded vigorously. Even if he had to do something 100 times more difficult, as long as he could wake Su Yin up, he would not hesitate. Wang Longhuang's lips trembled. He wanted to say something but stopped. Chapter 820. The moment the door closed, Lin Ji's heart was in his throat. It didn't feel good to have Su Yun's life in someone else's hands, but he had no other choice. The only thing he could do was to ensure that the Immortal Mountain's medical sage Yilan wouldn't be disturbed by anyone. Don't worry, as long as she says there's still hope, even if the whole world thinks that someone will die, they will still come back to life. Wang Longhuang said. That's why many people say that she has the means to bring the dead back to life. Su Yun himself knows that if the 3 famous doctors of the underground world were to be ranked based on medical skills, Yilan would definitely stand before Wu Qiuzi and Peng Juanda. But I believe in Wu Qiuzi more. Lin Ge let out a long sigh. He leaned against the wall and slowly slid down, finally sitting on the ground outside the door. Before Su Yun woke up, he would definitely not leave the door. Wang Longhuang saw that Lin Ge didn't have much confidence, so he didn't comfort him. You can rest assured that no one will barge in here. We should go eat something. Do you want to join us? I don't have an appetite. Lin Ge rejected straightforwardly. Wang Longhuang didn't force him and nodded. Then we'll bring it back for you. I don't want to eat the vegetarian food in this nunnery without oil. Devil hand, let's go. Jin Genie followed behind Wang Longhuang, and the two left the nunnery one after the other. If Yilan wasn't sure that she could complete the task within 24 hours, there was no point for them to stay here. They might as well go out and ask the police for information to make sure that they weren't targeted by the police. This was definitely the longest 24 hours Lin Ge had ever spent. The food that Wang Longhuang brought back was put aside. Lin Ge, who had no appetite, only drank a bottle of mineral water. Because he didn't want to leave the door, he didn't even go to the toilet, so he naturally controlled the amount of water he drank. Wang Longhuang couldn't help but sigh. Why didn't he have a little brother who could do this for him? He didn't realize that the biggest difference between him and Su Yun was that Su Yun always treated the people around him as brothers, unlike him, who liked to be high and mighty and treated the people around him as his subordinates. You should at least take a bite. What if you pass out when Su Yun wakes up? Jin Genie walked in front of Lin Ge and placed the new fast food she bought today beside Lin Ge. Thank you. Lin Ge said. You don't need to take care of me. Lung Chun is already dead. The traitor beside you is also dead. You can all return to Lunan. Our partnership is over. Wang Longhuang looked at Lin Ge and said, Yes, our cooperation has ended, so you don't need to arrange for us to go anywhere. You're staying here for Su Yun, but I'm staying here to see my ex-wife again. I only hope that she and Su Yun can be safe. If she hurts herself because of saving Su Yun, I won't agree. Lin Ge smiled faintly and said, I didn't think that the Emperor of Lunan was such a love-struck person. Wang Longhuang was speechless. He stopped talking to Lin Ge. He was really worried that Yilan's body wouldn't be able to take it. It had already been 24 hours. Exhausting a person's physical strength without any rest was a very serious test. With Su Yun's heavy injuries, even if Yilan didn't say anything, Wang Longhuang knew that she would definitely use her unique 3,654 needles to save his life. Lin Ge had just fallen into deep thought when the phone he took out from Su Yun's pocket rang. It was Cho Yun. Lin Ge felt like he was in a dream. He even forgot to look for Cho Yun. When he received Cho Yun's call, he felt very guilty but also very relieved. Sister Cho Yun, where are you? Pigeon? When Cho Yun heard that the person who answered the phone wasn't Su Yun, she felt like a huge stone was hanging in her heart. Where's Su Yun? My brother. Lin Ge didn't know how to answer. I'm not sure yet. What do you mean? Cho Yun asked anxiously. What happened to Su Yun? Did Lung Chen do something to him? Lin Ge interrupted Cho Yun. Lung Chen is dead, but my brother is also seriously injured. Right now, the immortal mountain medical sage is treating him with acupuncture. I believe that he will wake up soon. Sister Cho Yun, where are you? How are you? Are you okay? Cho Yun heaved a sigh of relief. Wait for me at the nunnery. I'll go find you right away. After hanging up the phone, Cho Yun finally heaved a sigh of relief. Lung Chen was dead. This news was like a huge stone that had been pressing on her heart had been lifted. And Su Yun's current situation of not knowing whether he was dead or alive added another huge stone to her heart. Cho Yun suddenly tore off the unfinished drip in her hand and got up to get out of bed. What are you doing? Li Moran was stunned for a moment. After he sent Cho Yun to the hospital, he had nowhere to go. He could only stay in the ward and wait for Cho Yun to wake up. Cho Yun's physical fitness absolutely amazed the doctors. She, who originally needed to be in the critical care unit, actually had a reaction after the drip. After Cho Yun woke up, the first thing she did was to get her phone back and call Su Yun. She was afraid that she had already lost Su Yun. Fortunately, there was still hope for Lin Ji's news. Otherwise, she really didn't know what she should do. I want to be discharged, Cho Yun said. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Lee Moran's eyes widened. Are you crazy? In your current state, the doctor said that you will be hospitalized for at least half a month for observation. You want to be discharged now? No, you have to lie down quickly. I'll find the doctor to re-inject you. You really don't care about your body. You'd better not stop me. Cho Yun said. I don't have time to explain so much to you. Lee Moran saw Cho Yun's serious expression and immediately waved his hand helplessly. Forget it, I know I can't stop you, but your current state is really too unstable. Where do you want to go? I'll take you there. If I can't be sure of your safety, I definitely won't let you leave. If something happens to you, I will definitely feel guilty for the rest of my life. Thank you. Cho Yun only had gratitude for this. Lee Moran secretly looked outside the ward. While no one was paying attention, he sneaked out of the ward with Cho Yun. Because he had to pay for the treatment first, if he didn't run, he really didn't have enough money in his pocket to pay for the medical expenses. Nowadays, seeing a doctor in the hospital was so expensive that even people who could claim reimbursement couldn't afford it, let alone a small citizen like him who sold potato soup. The two finally escaped from the hospital. Lee Moran gave a yuan to the old man who left his electric scooter at the entrance of the hospital, then helped Cho Yun onto his electric scooter. He turned on the electric switch and left as fast as lightning. However, within 10 minutes, the electric scooter ran out of power. Chapter 821. Cho Yun suddenly appeared, followed by a strange guy. Lin Gu was confused. Who is he? But Cho Yun only cared about one thing now. Where is Su Yin? Where is he? What's his situation now? Take me to see him. I don't know what's the situation now. Lin Gu pointed to the door behind him. But I believe he will get better. If you have the same idea as me, then dispel the idea of going in to see him. Yilan is saving him, but she doesn't allow anyone to disturb her during the whole process. Cho Yun frowned. Are you sure you can trust her? What she is doing to Su Yun, didn't you see it with your own eyes? I have no other choice, Lin Gu said. His whole body has been overdrawn to the limit. If there is any delay, he may die at any time. I can only believe in her, believe in my brother's own will. There is no other way. Although Cho Yun really wanted to push the door in to see the situation, but seeing Lin Gu so firmly blocking her, she finally had to give up her idea. Although Lee Moran was full of curiosity about these people, he also knew that this place was not suitable for him to stay for a long time. These people were not ordinary people. He should try not to get mixed up with these people. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to continue his dream of becoming a potato tycoon. So familiar. Jean Genie looked at Lee Moran and said to herself. Lee Moran smiled awkwardly. If you have been to Luyin Pedestrian Street, it is not surprising that you find me familiar. I sell potato soup on that pedestrian street. After that, he said to Cho Yun. Since you have found your friends, if there is nothing else, I will go first. But your current physical condition is not good. Pay more attention to recuperation. At this moment, Jean Genie slapped her forehead. I remember. I saw your photo at the entrance of the police station. You are involved in the destruction of the pedestrian street. The police are now looking for you. What? Lee Moran's eyes widened. No way? So fast. I'm so wronged. Why am I so unlucky? I suggest that you don't leave now. Cho Yun said apologetically. I'm sorry for dragging you into this, but since it's already happened, there's no way to change it. Lee Moran squatted on the ground while holding his head in grief. I can't afford to pay for the damage to the ancient building. I'm afraid I'll have to go to jail. I can't stay in this city anymore. Who is he? Lin Gu was really curious. Cho Yun told Lin Gu and the others everything that happened in Luyin Pedestrian Street. How they went there to eat yam soup, how they met Ling Chun, and how Lee Moran stood up to help them. Cho Yun did not hide anything. After hearing Cho Yun's words, Wang Long Huang, who didn't pay any attention to Lee Moran, also widened his eyes. You mean this kid? He could actually grab Lung Chen's wrist, and even threw Lung Chen out, which was why he crashed into the heavy wall of the ancient building. Cho Yun nodded. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it either. Lin Ji's face was full of surprise, but he absolutely believed Cho Yun's words. Cho Yun wasn't the kind of person who liked to joke. Moreover, he also knew about the existence of Little Dong Bei. He didn't have any mental state cultivation, but his speed and agility were definitely not inferior to a super expert. Obviously, Li Moran in front of them was also such a person. He didn't have any mental state cultivation, but his strength was not inferior to a martial arts expert at all. Li Moran saw that these people were curious about him, and was a little embarrassed. I was just born with a little more strength. There's nothing special about it. How strong are you? Wang Longhuang asked. Li Moran shrugged. Anyway, I haven't met anything that I can't carry so far. There's a willow tree in the courtyard of the temple. Can you pull it out? Wang Longhuang probed. Li Moran shook his head. I'm not Lu Jishan. I won't pull out a weeping willow tree. That willow tree is fine. It didn't offend me. Why would I pull it out? Seeing that everyone didn't believe him, Li Moran pointed to a table and said, I know you're not ordinary people. Why don't we arm wrestle? Devil's hand. Wang Longhuang immediately winked at Jin Jini. Jin Jini was known as the Devil's Hand. His hands were naturally good, and the most basic was his wrist strength. Therefore, Wang Longhuang wanted him to test Li Moran. Jin Jini was also very curious about how capable such an extremely ordinary-looking young man was. He immediately sat on both sides of the table with him. Come on. Then I won't be polite. Li Moran stretched out his right hand and shook hands with Jin Jini. Jin Jini didn't intend to be polite. He went all out as soon as he started. But after his explosive force surged out, he didn't get any feedback. The muscles of his right arm were bulging with blue veins, but Li Moran still didn't move. Jin Jini was dumbfounded. He couldn't move the opponent in front of him at all. What a terrifying wrist strength. Li Moran took a deep breath and said to Jin Jini, Brother, your strength is really great. If I don't hold my breath, I won't be able to hold it. Jin Jini's Adam's apple moved, and he swallowed a mouthful of saliva. I just used my strength. You haven't really used your strength yet. Come on, I'm ready for everything. Knock me down and let me see how strong you are. Thanks for letting me win. Li Moran's voice fell, and he suddenly used his strength. Clang! Jin Jini's wrist directly hit the table. The table couldn't withstand such a great force and broke into pieces. Jin Jini was shocked. He had prepared with all his strength, but he couldn't even hold on for a second in front of the opponent. The terrifying explosive force was really amazing. He knew that if he tried to hold on, it wouldn't be the table leg that broke, but his wrist. Wang Longhuang had to believe that he had learned something new. This kid was a genius. You really have some skills. Lin Gu exclaimed. Thank you very much for yesterday's matter. If you didn't save us, we might be in a worse situation than now. Li Moran was open-minded. It's not a big deal to help when I see injustice on the road. It's just a small matter. I think I'd better leave this place quickly. It will be too late when the police find me. Little brother, the police won't find you here. Wang Longhuang said. If you want to leave here, I can take you to London. With your ability, you don't have to sell potato soup on the street. If you work for me, I guarantee that you can get everything you want. Wang Longhuang, you're starting to rope people in? Isn't it a bit too early? Lin Gu couldn't stand it. Li Moran smiled embarrassedly. I think it's good to make potato soup. If it's done well, I can apply for a Huaxia intangible heritage. Chapter 822. Cho Yun nodded. I think he's right. Li Moran, you should stay here to avoid the wind. The police won't find the nunnery. Then I'll listen to you. Li Moran nodded to Cho Yun. He had no other choice. If the police were to find him, it would be too simple. His name in Luyan Pedestrian Street was quite influential. Most of the people had a good relationship with him. Many people also knew the old house he lived in. Even if Lee Moran didn't need to worry about the people who had a good relationship with him telling the police his address, the gangsters in Luyan Pedestrian Street would definitely sell his situation to the police. Those gangsters really hated him to the bones. During the days when he was on the pedestrian street, those gangsters didn't dare to collect protection fees anymore. If Lee Moran wanted to throw them out, it would be like throwing away chicks. Lingu, your people are also here. I still suggest you eat something. If you continue to waste time like this, even if Su Yin can wake up, you should be lying down. Wang Longhuang said indifferently, I'm not saying this because I care about your condition. After all, Lung Chen is dead and our cooperation is over. I'm also thinking for myself. If you can't do it, Su Yin and Chou Yun will both be injured. Won't I have to take care of them? Lin Gu looked at Wang Longhuang and smiled slightly. You don't have to worry about this. I know my own condition. If I don't eat for a few days, I won't be unable to stand up. Although he said this, Chou Yun's arrival made Lin Gu feel relieved. At least he dared to leave for a short time to go to the bathroom. Where's Luo Xing? Chou Yun suddenly realized that one person was missing. Jean Genie saw that Wang Longhuang didn't have the intention to talk about the traitor. So she said to Chou Yun, he's the person Lung Chen placed by our side. If it wasn't for him, Lung Chen wouldn't have come to this city so quickly. Chou Yun's eyes were filled with killing intent. Then where is he? I've always liked to clean house myself. You don't have to worry about that. After Wang Longhuang finished speaking, he turned around and walked out. His loyal subordinate had already betrayed him and stayed by his side for the sake of the evil warding scripture. This was a heavy psychological blow to Wang Longhuang. Lin Gu explained, Luo Xing is also dead. Lee Moran swallowed a mouthful of saliva and said with a slightly nervous expression, Who the hell are you people? Don't tell me you also want to kill me to silence me? After all, Lee Moran heard that 2 people had died in such a short time, and it was obviously related to them. Lee Moran, who hadn't experienced the baptism of the underground world, naturally didn't understand what was going on. We are not evil people. Both of them got the punishment they deserved. Chou Yun said, If you think we're being unreasonable, then think about it. Why didn't the police investigate the cause of death of the 2 people, but instead look for the person who destroyed the ancient building? Could it be that 2 lives are not as important as Gu Jian? That's right. These words really touched Lee Moran's heart. Comparing the death of a person and his negligence in destroying the ancient building, it was very simple to decide which was more important. The people who died were extremely notorious in the underground world. This is something the police can't investigate. Lin Gu explained, If you personally experienced the battle between my brother and Lung Chen, you should be able to feel that they aren't ordinary people, right? Yes. Indeed, they definitely aren't ordinary people. Lee Moran opened his mouth wide. Then what does the underground world mean? Lin Gu pointed to the door. The person who tried to rope you in just now is the overlord of Lu Nan's underground world. He took a fancy to your innate strength and believed that if you were trained, you would definitely become a great genius of the underground world and be used by him. Otherwise, do you think he would be so nice to you for no reason? Lee Moran obviously knew that there was no such thing as a free lunch in the sky. He wants me to do things for him. Bad things. I don't dare to say whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but he definitely wants you to do things for him. Otherwise, why would he take you away under the eyes of the police? Lin Gu said. However, what he said is true. If you follow him, you can immediately get something that you can't say you can get even if you work hard for 10 years. Lee Moran touched his nose. Is it that exaggerated? You're not fooling me, right? I think that if I work hard for 10 years to buy a 5 Series BMW, he can give it to me right away? He can also afford a 7 Series right away. Chou Yun said lightly, It's just that if you can get something that costs a penny, you have to have the ability to do something that costs a penny. I don't need to say more about this simple truth. You can definitely understand it. Oh my God, he's so rich. Lee Moran sighed with emotion. There was always someone better than him. While they were chatting and waiting for news, Yilan finally pushed the door open and walked out of her room. Her appearance immediately attracted everyone's attention. After 20 to 30 hours of continuous acupuncture treatment, Yilan's breathing seemed a little weak. Wang Longhuang attentively followed her and personally took the bird's nest soup that Jean Genie had put in a thermos and handed it to Yilan. Although Yilan didn't want to give Wang Longhuang face, she didn't care so much since she hadn't eaten or drunk anything. After drinking the bird's nest soup, her dry throat moistened a little. My brother. Lin Ji's nervous gaze never left Yilan's eyes. Yilan smiled slightly lazily. He's really tough. I didn't expect him to be able to persevere. Chou Yun instantly breathed a sigh of relief. Lin Gu was even more ecstatic. Then he? Inside. Is he awake? He's awake. After Yilan finished speaking, Chou Yun and Lin Gu quickly rushed in. Although Li Moran didn't know how badly Su Yun was injured, he was also very curious and wanted to go in and take a look. Yilan suddenly raised her hand to stop him and said to Wang Longhuang, "Who is this kid? What's his relationship with Su Yun and the others?" This. Wang Longhuang didn't know how to explain. He helped us before. My name is Li Moran. I sell potato soup on Luyan Pedestrian Street. Li Moran said. The injured people inside are my guests. They encountered trouble while eating my potato soup, so it's natural for me to help. Now that we're going in and taking a look, it's more or less a favor, right? Yilan looked at Li Moran in disbelief. You helped Su Yun deal with Hell King Ling Chen? You're actually still alive and standing here. Hee, you have some skills. Isn't Hell King Hades? Why did he change his name? Isn't it something from Western mythology? Li Moran was puzzled. Kid, are you pretending to be stupid, or are you really stupid? Yilan looked at Li Moran. Go in. Su Yun must also want to thank you. There aren't many young people with courage nowadays. You're just a young man selling potato soup. You're really impressive. Chapter 8:23. Su Yun's narrow escape from death was truly a marvelous feeling. This was the feeling of being himself again after he lost control of his evil tendencies. He remembered everything that had happened before very clearly. When he lost control of his evil tendencies, it was as if he had become a completely different person. Losing control was his greatest feeling. That feeling of not being able to control himself really wasn't that great. Although in that state of madness, he had forced Leng Chun into a desperate situation, and had no choice but to perish together with him. What made Su Yun rejoice was that the heavens helped the worthy. Just as Leng Chun decided to perish together with him regardless of the consequences, a kite that had been disturbed by them suddenly sprang up from the ground, and fiercely bit the left side of Leng Chen's neck. It was also this that had interrupted Leng Chen's attack, and Su Yun had seized the opportunity to deliver a fatal blow to Leng Chen's chest. Even though Leng Chen couldn't accept this result, it was already too late. What should have ended had already ended. Su Yun's full-strength attack, coupled with the evil tendencies that had erupted from his heart, had shattered Leng Chen's heart and lungs. The moment Leng Chen fell to the ground, he was still staring fixedly at Su Yun's eyes. He was unwilling to accept this, extremely unwilling to accept this. One of the 7 kings, an earth-profound realm expert, had actually died under the disturbance of a snake. Leng Chen was destined to die with everlasting regret. In order to avoid being attacked by the kite, Su Yun used the last of his strength to leave Leng Chen's corpse. When Lin Gu and the others found Su Yun had already completely exhausted his physical strength. What awaited him was only the pain of being devoured. Only Yilan knew that Su Yun had lost at least 10 years of his lifespan because of this battle. As long as the evil tendencies in his body weren't eliminated, there was a possibility that they would relapse at any time. Many times, the accumulated evil tendencies in Su Yun's body couldn't be controlled by himself. Once something touched that taboo that he wasn't allowed to touch, he would uncontrollably erupt with this evil tendencies. Although this vicious aura could temporarily increase his strength, and the boiling blood would reduce his perception of all pain, it was still not enough for him. However, every time this vicious aura erupted, he would have the same side effect of harming himself. This was the after effect left after Su Yun's inner demon was eliminated. The fact that Leng Chen was able to trigger Su Yun's rage, which he had been trying his best to control, was enough to show how much Su-yin hated Lung Chin. It's all over now, Su-yin smiled. At least you don't have to worry about Guoguo anymore. Cho-yun looked at Su-yun's weak body. Words couldn't describe the pain in her heart. Don't think about anything. Take care of your body. If Guoguo and Sister Shuang knew about your situation, they would be heartbroken. Even if you want to recuperate, you can't stay in this nunnery to recuperate. Su-yin smiled. When he woke up, the first thing Yilan said to him was, if you can stand up, leave this place as soon as possible and find a place to recuperate. This is a nunnery, not a sanatorium. Lin Ge felt much more relaxed. As long as Su-yin was awake, nothing would happen. Brother, as long as you say the word, we'll be ready to leave at any time. Of course, the sooner the better. Su-yin said. I parked the car in the parking lot on the east side of Luyan Pedestrian Street. You can go and get it back later. Okay. Lin Ge nodded. At this time, Su-yin also saw Li Moran. I really have to thank you for yesterday. If it weren't for you, I don't dare to imagine what would have happened. I can't thank you enough. If you have any requests, feel free to ask. As long as I can do it, I will do my best. Really? Li Moran asked tentatively. You really have a request? Lin Ge looked back at Li Moran. Su-yin glared at Lin Ge and motioned him not to speak. He said to Li Moran, of course it's true. I, Su-yin, have always been a man of my word. I see that you're also an honest person. Li Moran smiled. In fact, I don't have any requests, but I'm in trouble now. If I'm blamed for destroying ancient buildings, I'm afraid I'll be in jail for a few years. But I know since I was young that life is precious, and love is even more valuable. If it's for freedom, both can be abandoned. I really don't want to go to jail. If you want to leave here, Wang Longhuang's conditions are very good. Lin Ge said. If you go to London with him, although I don't dare to say that you'll be second only to one person, you'll definitely be highly regarded. Li Moran scratched his head. I'm not afraid of you laughing at me, but I really considered it. Didn't you say that he can afford a 7 Series BMW for me? I'm not lying. Lin Ge said. But I think that person, how should I say it? His relationship with the nuns in this nunnery seems a bit unusual. Li Moran said. Before my grandfather went to the Western Paradise, he told me that there are several types of people that can't be befriended. Among them, there are men who provoke nuns. Su-yin smiled bitterly. Their relationship is indeed unusual, but it's definitely not what you think. However, if you want to leave here, I still don't recommend you go to London with Wang Longhuang. If you believe me, I'm willing to take you out of here. After eating your potato soup, I feel that it's really good. I think that if you decorate it a little, it's enough to become a signature. We have a star hotel in Xinjiang. You can work there with me. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. Xinjiang has a star hotel? Li Moran was surprised. Even so, I still have to say that I definitely can't give you what Wang Longhuang can give you. Su-yin. I won't force you on this matter. If you want to pursue a better material life, I don't have the right to stop you. If you believe me and treat me as a brother, I will definitely treat you as a brother. Seeing that Li Moran was still a little hesitant, Cho-yun said, you can think about it. Anyway, we won't leave right away. Brother, I'll go to the parking lot on the pedestrian street and drive the car back. Lin Ge said. After I come back, let's prepare to leave. Go back and bring the good news to everyone so that they won't worry about you. Su-yin nodded. During the time when Lin Ge went there to pick up the car, he needed to adjust his qi. Otherwise, the bumpy journey from Nanhu to Xinjiang would be really torturous. Everything had to be prepared before going on the road. Cho-yun could see that Su-yin needed to adjust his qi, so she also signaled Li Moran to go out with her. At this time they shouldn't disturb Su-yin. After they came out, Yilan asked, how is it? Have you discussed when to leave here? I'll go and drive the car back, then we'll leave immediately. Lin Ge said. This time, I really have to thank you. If there's anything you need me for in the future, just let me know. Chapter 824. Lin Ge smiled embarrassedly. I know you didn't ask us to leave, but our alliance with Wang Longhuang has ended. If we leave, it doesn't mean that he will leave too. So there are many things we can't decide. If they still choose to stay, I hope you won't blame us. Yilan frowned. They won't leave with you? Why? Didn't you come together? If I had known, my brother wouldn't have come all the way to Lunan to suffer. Lin Ge said. Our goal here is to deal with Leng Chun, but I'm afraid Wang Longhuang's goal here isn't just to deal with Leng Chun, right? After saying that, Lin Ge glanced at Wang Longhuang, who was standing not far away. Wang Longhuang naturally heard everything he said. Of course I didn't come here just to deal with Leng Chun. Wang Longhuang said seriously to Yilan. I was worried that Wang Longhuang would come here and ask you to treat his injuries. I formed an alliance with them because I was worried about you. My goal was to fight against Leng Chun. However, Su Yun's potential really exceeded my expectations. Today he alone. Yilan didn't seem to buy Wang Longhuang's explanation at all. Since your matter is over, you can leave now. They're still here because they have injured people. You and your people are unharmed. Why are you still hanging around my nunnery? Wang Longhuang's expression was slightly awkward. I'm not hanging around here. I'm just worried about your safety. Yilan, please listen to me. I really don't mean anything else. We haven't seen each other for so many years. Some things should be in the past. All these years, I've carried more guilt than anyone else. Even if you want to punish me, it's been so many years. It should be enough, right? I've been repenting every day. I've been worried about you every day. Really, I beg you to give me a chance, okay? Ahem. I'm going to get the car. Sister Cho Yun, take care of my brother. After Lin Ge finished speaking, he left the nunnery. Cho Yun and Li Moran also left the room. Jean Genie was worried that her presence would make Wang Longhuang feel awkward, so she ran out of the nunnery early to smoke. Yilan looked at Wang Longhuang speechlessly. He pointed at himself and said, Do you have a brain? Saying this to a monk like me. Aren't you afraid that the Buddha Lord will punish you? Let me tell you, what happened between us was 10 years ago. I don't care what you did back then at all. I have the protection of the Buddha Lord, so I don't need you to protect me. I only have one request, please leave immediately. Wang Longhuang was unwilling to give up. At that time, I was still young and not yet 30 years old. I was young and full of vigor. I really regretted what I had done. You know what? You can't make up for what you did back then. Yilan said. You destroyed my dream of having a child and a complete family. But now, I have devoted myself to Buddhism. I don't want to think about those things anymore. Do you understand? I don't want you to destroy my dream again. Wang Longhuang was silent. What he had done was indeed unforgivable and could never be made up for. Although the evil warding scripture was a wondrous book for martial cultivation, it also destroyed Wang Longhuang at the same time. Nothing could go back to the past. Wang Longhuang didn't have any extravagant requests now. He only wanted forgiveness. However, this sentence of forgiveness was so unreachable to him. Although Yilan had devoted herself to Buddhism for many years, she still hadn't forgiven him. This meant that she still hadn't untied the knot in her heart. Even if she cultivated in seclusion for another 10 years, it would still be difficult for her to achieve anything. Some things were just like this. Yilan had been trying to let go of the knot in her heart for so many years. She originally thought that she had done it, but Wang Longhuang's sudden appearance once again made her realize that she hadn't truly let go of everything. She still needed to continue cultivating. I will wait outside until you forgive me. Only then will I leave. Wang Longhuang said. If you don't forgive me, I will keep waiting. You won't do that. You can't let go of everything you have in Lunan. Yilan said, go back. Don't waste your time. You will never be able to let go of everything. Wang Longhuang shook his head. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. Would you forgive me if I could give up some of my beliefs and become a Buddha sincerely? If that's the case, I would rather give up everything. When I can see you again, I feel that nothing matters anymore. Yilan sneered. Only a ghost would believe your words. If you want me to forgive you, fine. Then go to Luxiang Temple 30 kilometers away from here, and become a monk. I want to see how sincere you are. Wang Longhuang actually agreed. Okay, it's a deal. I don't want anything in Lunan. I will become a monk today. I want to see how long you can last. Yilan said. Don't force yourself. If you can't hold on, you can renounce asceticism. If I can still see you at the Buddhist conference 3 years later, I will forgive you. 3 years later? Wang Longhuang was stunned. He didn't know if his decision was crazy or not, but he still agreed without hesitation. As for everything in Lunan, he only hoped that the devil's hand who had been loyal to him for so many years could help him end it. Especially the book that caused him to become like this. It had to be destroyed. I promise you, when we meet again in 3 years, you will see a new me, Wang Longhuang said. I have long wanted to let go of all power struggles. I just didn't have the courage. Today, you gave me the courage. Thank you. I won't see you out, Yilan said and turned to leave. Wang Longhuang found it hard to imagine how Yilan had survived for the past 10 years. In this nunnery where she was alone, day after day, more than 3,600 days and nights. And the person who caused her to be in this state was him. He was the main culprit. He needed the Buddha's salvation. When Wang Longhuang told Jin Jingyi about his decision, Jin Jingyi couldn't believe it. But the truth was the truth. No one could change Wang Longhuang's decision. No matter how hard Jin Jingyi tried to dissuade him, Wang Longhuang wouldn't take back his decision. Chou Yun, who was listening from the side, was also quite surprised. Li Moran lamented that he couldn't get a 7 Series BMW to drive in Lunan. About half an hour later, Lin Gu came back with the car. By this time, Wang Longhuang and Jin Jingyi had already left. When he heard that Wang Longhuang was going to become a monk, Lin Gu laughed until his stomach hurt. Anyway, he definitely didn't believe it. Yilan's mood seemed to be heavier than before. She expressionlessly sent them out of the nunnery and closed the door without making a sound. You're tuning into the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.